There we go. All right, now we're doing offline recording as well. What's up, everyone? Hopefully, everyone is well. I am not feeling too great. I am exhausted. I've had a bad last 2 days. Kind of. Yesterday was pretty rough. Today is a little bit better, but excuse me, just kind of paying the price for it. My body's a little upset, so doing what I can. Just gotta sit up and play some video games for at least 3 hours. It's day 2 of Metroid Prime, on my second chances series of basically playing games and giving them another shot. Seeing if my opinion of them has changed. Actually, mine has. It's not every single game that I play here is a game that I hated. Some of them I may have liked in the past, or some games I absolutely did completely hate, like Horizon Zero Dawn. I did not like at all. Played it through. It was the first game on my series here, and I actually ended up liking it. I thought it was a pretty decent game. It's not like a game I'm in love with. It's not like Nier Automata, which is like the best game that people need to play, but it's pretty good. I recommend it to people. So, Metroid Prime started off with my expectations of being that I remember liking the game a lot, but just playing it on the GameCube really destroyed my hands because that controller is terrible for if you have arthritis like I do. So, been playing it through an emulator, and my opinion of it's kind of changing. So you have to find out kind of closer to the end what my overall opinion of the game is. Let me get this started up. Switch over. All right, good. Double checking the audio. So if I need to readjust the audio, please let me know. I actually had a video appointment today with my back surgeon who did my back fusion in February. And it was just like a follow-up there, did a video visit, but whenever we do those video visits, it screws with like all of like my recording software and OBS. Like just the internal stuff just goes crazy. For whatever thing they're using just really doesn't get along with my Windows settings. So if I need to readjust anything, if my microphone's too loud or a game's too quiet, vice versa, whatever, let me know. I am more than happy to get that fixed. If there's like problems with the stream, like if it's buffering, so it looks like I only have the 1080p. I didn't get the transcodes tonight. It looks like I'm just 1080p 60. If it's buffering for you for whatever reason, let me know. I can always drop it down to 720p or lower down the bitrate. I will do what I can to make this the best looking stream possible with what I have available. Okay, so we are now in the Magmore Caverns. Got there last time stream, kind of explored a little bit, then ended out. Let's see. No, we'll just play from the save point. Because I'm playing this on emulation via Dolphin emulator. Let's see how much of the map. I don't think I have much of anything here yet. It keeps sounding like, hey, there's something here in the furnace. You can't get to it yet. Don't care. Can't get there yet, game. Let's see. So I also have save states too, because this is emulated. So let's see where I'm at in the save state. I think I have a lot more going on. Load state, selected slot. That's right, I discovered the snow place. Snow place like home. I don't know if I can get anywhere right now. Okay, crystallite. Reflects beam weapons, only cracked with concussive blast. And upside down, so it seems like missiles are probably the best shot for that. Yes. Can fourth ball get over? It can. Well, that's handy. Just unlocked the door I didn't realize was locked somewhere. Yeah, so eventually the Magmore Caverns, I found this kind of path I was exploring through a lot, and came up with the Ice World. I'm like, okay, this is a good place to save, because I played like 3.5 hours, I think, last stream. It's prime time indeed. What's up, Barnes? Hopefully you're doing well. Playing this game as part of my Second Chances series. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically I'm going through and playing games that I didn't really like the first time, or not necessarily didn't like. I mean, some games are like, it's okay, and you know, and I just got distracted and played some other games instead, never went back to it. So for me, this game actually started off, remember liking it pretty well. But as I'm playing it through it again on emulator, because the original GameCube version just destroys my hands with my arthritis, kind of finding I'm actually not liking the game as much anymore. It's like, huh, it's just times have changed, because the last time I played this game was like 10 years ago. Yeah, I'm a little sore today. I really kind of got beat up yesterday, body-wise, having to do a whole bunch of shopping and stuff that was needed and lifting, and my back just didn't quite like it. I had my appointment today with my back surgeon, and he was like really impressed. He's like, "Your back X-rays are looking good. You know, your screws and the hardware in your back, they aren't cracking your bones or anything. They're all healing around it. You have bone growth. That's great." So he's like, "Yeah, so you're fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. We'll set you up with physical therapy and you know, see how you do from there." So I'm like, "Sweet." Yeah, so the first game I played on my Second Chances series was Horizon Zero Dawn, which is the game I did not like when I first played it. Since then, that was like about 2.5 years ago. It was like the first time I tried it, and it was like $10, I think I bought it for. And the game has like been patched like multiple times upon multiple times now, so it's actually pretty good. They fixed a lot of problems, but there's still big issues with it. Like, you don't have the ability to lock onto enemies, which is like a major problem with that game. You need to be able to lock onto people, especially for fights, because they get pretty crazy. So that's still something you can't do, and you can't adjust really the camera. It's like there's a whole lack of options, but the game actually ended up liking it a lot better than I did the first time. So I went from hating it into actually thinking it's a decent game. So this time with this game, I'm kind of going opposite directions. I'm like, I was really liking it at first, but now I'm kind of like, this game is super slow paced and it's got issues. It's a single stick game, so you gotta get used to not using like twin sticks anymore. It takes some adjustment. The thing's probably gonna end up just about destroying me. I'm pretty sure I'm somewhere where I'm not supposed to be, basically. Let's see. So the other games I have lined up for my series so far is let's see. Excuse me. Next up is going to be El Shaddai, essentially the Metatron, which is a really kind of feel like it's like an artsy beat 'em up type deal for the 360. I don't think it ever got a PS3 support. I'm not sure. I have God of War 2018 on there, or God of Boy as it's also known as, Killzone, Shadowfall, Spider-Man. It turns out a lot of the games on my Second Chances thing are like PlayStation 4 games. It's like most of my PlayStation 4 collection, I'm kind of like, Spider-Man, Astral Chain, I'm thinking maybe I got to figure out what's wrong with my Switch, so it's like I'm not really sure if that's going to be on there. Infamous Second Son, Dishonored, and if people donate for it, I'll donate. I'll play these games for one stream. It'd be a minimum of at least $20 in bits would be Persona 5. That'd be one stream. And then $50 in bits, I'd play The Last of Us, because that game is just nothing but glitchy garbage. People are like, but it's got a great story, and I agree. I pulled up the movie on YouTube. I watched like a video of the story playthrough. I thought it was really great. It's got a story that I love. The game itself is just, it is terrible. It's just like, okay, I can't get past this thing, I'm pretty sure. It's like the story is just god awful. Not the story, the gameplay is just horrendously bad. It is like glitchy, fall through the world, things don't work, nonsense mechanics. Yeah, so And it's the same thing like Persona 5. People are like, it's an amazing game. I'm like, you spend the first 6 hours of that game, you're being told you're worse than Hitler and Jared from Subway at the same time. They're actually better people than you. Like, they are better than you will ever be. You know, it's like, wow, what the hell? I'm like, do I get to play? They're like, no, 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 we're not done berating you for another 4 more hours before you get to actually do something. So I'm like, why do people like this game? Like, oh, the music is great and the style looks amazing. True, that is true. The music is great. I do like the soundtrack. I just can't stand the game. It's like if you have to play a game like Final Fantasy 13 was another one of those things. Like it gets good after 40 hours. It's like, or actually no, it was like 30 hours. It gets good. It's like then it's not a good game. I hate to break it to you. So that's why I'm like, Persona, and that's the thing. People are like, well, maybe you just don't like Persona games. I'm like, I beat Persona 3 and 4. I love those games. Those are great, outstanding RPGs. I recommend everybody play those games. Persona 5, I'm like, they just lost the track. So those are ones like I will play it if I get donations for it, and I'll play it for one stream, which is like 3 hours. Because my second chance of streams, I'm giving them a minimum of 2 streams. So that's anywhere between total of 6 to 8 hours. That's like more than enough time to determine like if a game is good or not. Yeah, I'm not where I need to be right now. Let's reload and actually let's just head back to we'll reload up from the memory card save. There we go. So that's the thing. So I do 2 of those streams. Like I said, it's 6 to 8 hours, more than enough time to really determine if a game is if I'm liking it or not, or form a better opinion on it. And it's kind of like what you said, like you enjoyed it from the start, but if you went back from Metroid Prime and try to play it again, like I did, it's kind of like this game hasn't aged quite as good as people remember. I think they ported these like 1, 2, and I know 3 was definitely a Wii game. I think. But I think they ported 1 and 2 also to the Wii and added controls like that, so I think people played it there, but if you're playing this on the GameCube from like, this is like 2004? 2000? Yeah, I think it's a 2004 game. It's like, it's just, it hasn't aged too well with the single-stick games. No, actually 2002, I take that back. 2002, so it's 18 years old. That's crazy. This game can, like, vote. It doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, it's just like you gotta get used to it is all, really. You just gotta make that mental adjustment, like, okay, you're gonna try moving the right thumbstick when you first start playing it here, and it's not gonna do anything. Oh, I saved right out here, and I'm an idiot. Yeah, it keeps telling me, like, hey, here's the furnace, you can't get to it. But there's something there. I'm like, yeah, I know. I saw the first time. Alright, so I need to find my way back to... not dying. This is back way here. This should get me back down to the Magmore Caverns. Go ahead and jump down the river. There we go. Yeah, this will take me back down to the lava caverns, which is where I need to actually technically be. Actually, a lot of people were upset by that. Pardon me. I was like, I wasn't upset. I was just more curious. I had friends who were upset. They're like, how dare they take this 2D classic game and make it 3D? And it's like it's got some issues. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's this game, particularly Metroid Prime 1. I have 2, but I've never played it. This game is like very scan heavy. Like the very first like Chozo ruins that you go through when you start the game, like the first like 3.5, 4 hours, you're just doing nothing but scanning things constantly. Like you have to do it in order to progress. It's like, oh my god, just I don't care. It's like I just want to shoot things and go forward. So 3D was quite the adjustment. I'm still of the 2D games by far. Yeah, for me that is the way to be. This wasn't like too bad though. I mean, like, I was expecting like far worse than what we actually got. So. Two was better. I've heard that. Like I have it downloaded. That's the thing. It's like, so okay, making sure my OBS is displaying correctly. I have it downloaded. I don't have the physical copy. I just never played it. Like I downloaded it, I'm like, I should try this because I owned the first one. I actually bought my GameCube to play this game. It was bundled together with the GameCube. And I was like, I just started working for AOL, and like my first paycheck was like 8 times more than my old job. So I had like a ton of money to burn. I'm like, oh my god. So I had enough money to put down a down payment for my apartment that they were like busy renovating so I could move into. It was like a 2-bedroom apartment. So it was like I'm just living by myself. I wasn't, didn't have a girlfriend or anything. It was like just me. I want 2 bedrooms. I'm paying for the space. I'm gonna have a game room, and I did. So it was like 2-bedroom apartment. Had enough money down pay on that. Buy a new wardrobe that I needed because I was like almost at the time just about. Pay off my friends' debts to them that I owed, and I still had money left over. I was like, well, I want a GameCube. Metroid Prime just came out. Let's buy the bundle. Bought a GameCube. Bought Metal Gear Solid 3, I think it just come out like 2 or 3 weeks prior to that, so I bought that too for my PlayStation. So it's like, holy crap, I love working at this job. And then I got like ooh, that's not good. And I got a bonus check from them like 3 months later, and that was like even more. It was like, oh, here's a couple $1,000 bonus checks. I'm like, oh, best job ever. Yeah, it's like they paid ridiculously well. Yep, so that's where I first played this. I mean, it was like, okay, and that's when I started developing problems with my hands from arthritis. So that's why I kind of realized, like, I think I got maybe like 2/3 of the way through this game. And that's when I kind of had to stop playing because my hands were just hurting too bad from the GameCube controller. And then shortly after, I think this was around 2005 or so, I think like the first versions of Dolphin emulator started coming out. And it's like games were like across the board were running like 20 frames per second if you were lucky. It was like, wow, this is amazing. I can play Naruto like at 4 frames per second. And now it's like it just does almost everything flawlessly on a toaster. That's cool. Go have fun. Glad you dropped by. Besides, anyone's always welcome to lurk too. So even if you come back, you don't have to talk. It's always good. But thanks for dropping by. I do appreciate it. Have some fun yourself, by all means. Let's go. I think I haven't been through this door. Or I did. Okay. Gotta learn how to read 3D maps. There's something back here. Yeah, 3D maps. That's fun to get used to again. It's like, why? I'm in here, I'm just like, I need a power bomb to blow this up to get to like the water levels, and then I'm like, no, this isn't Super Metroid. Okay, so we can't shoot those things out. Come to me. Thank you. Okay, missiles do seek. I wasn't sure if I was seeing that from last time or not. I wasn't sure, like, are they really seeking onto them? They do. Alright, so I don't think I went up through that door last time. No, I didn't. I must have gone through... tunnel shortcut, I guess? That should have mapped. Either way, I'm going to make a save state here so I don't end up back in, like, Iceland. Where the actual Iceland is very nice to visit. I recommend it. It's a beautiful place. It's also, you can golf at 3 o'clock in the morning and see your ball just like it's the middle. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's really, really trippy. Okay, it's actually just shortcutted me through. Okay. So I was thinking, like, why didn't that show up on the map last time? I think I got hit by the, was it flame vent? Yeah, that pushes you right down. That is not like take damage, that is take damage and get pushed. Okay, I'm on a rail. I'm like, please don't fall off. Because that can't happen. You can get over enthusiastic, like rolling, and you'll actually like bounce off like walls and stuff, and like kind of like bounce back. Not really like a huge ricochet. You'll get like a tiny bump, which can actually knock you off things. Alright, so this is another elevator. Now I think this is the elevator I found to go to Ice World. I think. Hell and Overworld West? Was I here already? I must have been here before. Let's go up and find out. Yeah, you also, like, it's kind of annoying, like, you get, like, stuck. Like, right now I'm actually stuck, like, on the corner. I'm guessing what my shoulders are. I'm holding up and can't move, so you gotta, like, move over, just, like, strafe slightly, and then you can go. You get caught on doors a lot. I don't remember having that problem originally when I first played this game, but it's been so long. Okay. Oh, no. Thinking like, oh, is that gonna bust out a secret? No, not really. Now, my memory is terrible. I actually have, like, no memory if I've been here or not in this room. It's like, what? It might have been. It might be backtracking. I'm not sure. Just pretty bad because I only last played this, like, 2 days ago. You think I would remember that, but apparently I don't. Yeah, I don't quite remember going down spiraling like this. That's a grapple point for later. What are you? Blood flower, okay. I guess I did not go through here before. Okay. Okay, I remember this place now. Okay. I have been through here. But is there a way... I think I need the high jump boots, which I do not have yet. So I can't pull off that speedrunning trick to get them. You can actually sequence break like the hell out of this game, like, really easily. Well, not really easily, because I've never been able to pull it off, but, like, I one time tried, like, my girlfriend at the time was like, just try to see if you can pull it off, and, like, spent literally, like, 45 minutes, almost an hour trying to do it, just, like, it was just so frustrating, I could not get it. Yeah, so that's where I landed. That's the landing site. Okay, so that's actually like start of the game type deal here. That's the hub world I'm trying to get kind of back to, I guess. Let's go back there at the landing site and see if there's any other place I can get into while I'm there. And if all else fails, I still have that save point I can always jump back to bring me settle back closer to where I was. Excuse me. Am I going the right way? Yes. Took my pain meds, and every once in a while it just makes me like really kind of like sick to my stomach. Did actually last stream too. Let me take my anti-nausea real quick. Same in the room here. Just gotta go grab it real fast. Okay, here we go. So, let's see. Yeah, the door, like the blue square to the left of the S box, sounds like Xbox, I think that's where like you can get the high jump boots at. And that's where you actually need to do like a strafing jump off of your... Pulling down strafe and doing like sideways hop. Like hop like one like that and just doing some kind of like weird strafing maneuver. You can like catch that ledge. I think they may have patched it out of certain versions of the game. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. But yeah, I tried that for like 45 minutes. I could not get that jump. What's up, Mimics? Hopefully you're doing well. Good to see you again. Yes, made it out of the space station, made it out of the Chozo ruins, finally, so I'm not, constantly not there just having to scan everything non-stop. That's nice. Really? I think I played like 2/3 of the way through on the original GameCube, and then stopped because it was just wrecking my hands. The GameCube controller and arthritic hands do not mix. So why I say it's one of the worst controllers ever made. And people are like, it's the best one. And then you find out that the GameCube was their first video game console they ever owned. You're like, well, there you go. That's your bias. But I got like 2/3 of the way through, and I think the last time I played this game was like 10 years ago. So I've gotten through, beat the first boss. I have the various suits so I can go down to the Magmore Caverns, which is like Lava World. And then I found the ice place, and now I'm kind of backtracking to where I was at the start to kind of explore, see if I'm missing something like the high jump boots that I couldn't get before. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, I don't own the second game physically. I own this game because this actually Metroid Prime came with my GameCube. It was bundled together. So I downloaded the game file for the Dolphin emulator, which is how I'm playing this right now. I'm like, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, let's give this a go. And I've never tried it, ever. It's like, okay. and that's funny because everyone tells me like the second game is better than the first. Yeah, because I bought my GameCube, was like right when I started AOL, got my first paycheck, and it was like 7 or 8 times, I was making 7 or 8 times more money with my first paycheck than I did working at my last job, which like had made me homeless. It was like, I had money to burn. I had paid off my, I had put a down payment for like for a 2-bedroom apartment, paid off my friend debts I owed with them, and then like bought a wardrobe I needed for work, and then just like went, hey, I got still a crap ton of money to burn. So then I went like, I bought a GameCube that had Metroid Prime together, the memory card I knew I was going to need because my brother had a GameCube, so I knew exactly everything I was going to need. And then I bought like Metal Gear Solid 3. I think it just come out like 2 or 3 weeks before I got paid on the PlayStation 2. So I was like, all right, let's get this. So yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun. Flying pirates, equipped with airborne assault. Packed with thermal imaging. Missiles are extremely potent. Their jetpacks are even so. Oh, so they're gonna make a suicide strike. Good. I think 3 was for the Wii. I never played it. If it came out for the Wii, I did not play it. I have a container found in the Space Pirate Research Frigate. Highly toxic. So you're saying I should shoot it, and I should touch it, and then touch it again. All right. It's weird that the Space Pirates just like said, nope. I'm just like bugged out instead of like fighting me. Okay, so I can jump up higher ledges, I can't get onto this one. Explain yourself, video game. There we go. It's like, I was jumping up higher things, the game's like, nope, it's 1 foot, you can't do it anymore. It's like, seriously, it's like, what's your problem? Okay, what if I do a bomb jump? Does that work underwater? No, even less. Okay. Nope, I don't have it yet, but I mean, here's the thing though, is I jumped over things twice as high as this. You saw me run up these platforms, and that's, that texture did not load or render correctly. But yeah, I was able to jump up here, except for this part, it's like, explain yourself, video game. This is like waist high. It's like literally. When did I play Super Metroid? Years ago? Yeah, so really weird that the game let me jump up this high but no further, so I gotta make my way back now. So this platform higher than me, I can jump over it. Jumping is inconsistent. I thought it was alright. I wasn't really like blown away. I was just like more curious than anything else. Because I mean, this was like the move to the 3D from 2D, and that was like, and some people were really upset by that. I had friends who were like, "That's gonna be terrible." It's like, it turned out to be alright. I mean, just the big problem I have with this game is that it's a single analog stick game, so you have to get used to that again. You know, because you get used to dual analog stick controls, and all of a sudden you don't have it anymore. And it really kind of messes with your brain. Like, I keep trying to like use my right thumbstick to change my my movement. Pardon me, not movement, but my aim. You gotta hold down the right trigger to do that. So it's like, okay, so you just get used to it again. So it's just more of a mental adjustment, really. But I think that the switch from 2D to 3D kind of worked. I still prefer the 2D games by far and away, a lot better. 3D maps. I don't know why it gives you a 3, like, here you go, here's the Telenova world, can I go to a different section? No. No, you may not. Nick the button. Game, are you gonna do anything? There we go. I know it's loading. It's trying to hide loading time, but that was a little bit too long. All right. Yeah, this is also another game that kind of has problems when you emulate it. Like, Dolphin Emulator tends to do things really well. It is like, they've gotten to the point now where you can run it on a toaster just about. You know, even like Twalis's laptop, which is not the best thing, can run games decently. But a lot of games will have, like, some of them will have stuttering. It just from how they designed it and programmed it, there's no real way around it. But about a year and a half ago or so, I think it was, they finally added Uber shaders in. So what you can do is turn that on, and when you encounter something for the first time, like, you'll have like a slight stutter or frame drop. Like, I'm going for, like, it's a 60 frames per second game, it might drop down to like 50 for a second and shoot back up. So once it does that and you encounter that shader again, it won't happen again in the future. It saves, it's building up a shader cache is what it's doing. Whereas Dolphin, if you don't turn that on, it just goes, oh, here's a new shader, and loads it in there, but it doesn't retain it in memory for whatever stupid reason. So Metroid Prime is like one of those games that's like you need to turn on Uber shaders, or else you're just gonna have a stuttery mess that's not gonna be fun. Alright, so I've turned it on and not really had too much of a problem, so every once and again I'll see like maybe a frame drop from like 60 to like 55 for a second, then goes right back into 60 again, so it's pretty cool. Blah 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 story, I don't care! Give me weapons! I think I remember this being like mostly endgame stuff right here. Collected again the totems, includes the locations of the raining artifacts. Together, artifacts will open a path to the center of the impact crater. Yeah, this is like endgame stuff. This location. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other game that has stuttering problems with caches is F-Zero GX, I think it is. Was it? Which is a stupidly hard game. Yeah, F-Zero GX and Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. That's another one that just like really has problems with. Although Tatsunoko vs. Capcom is a Wii game, but it still plays underneath this emulator. So yeah, those are like 3 games I can think of right off the bat. They're just like shader hell for Dolphin. Artifact of Truth, the first of 12. Oh man. So I'll spoil things for you just a little bit early. My opinion of this game has actually gone down. It's like I liked it the first time I played it, and like I said, years ago, but it just hasn't really aged that well since. So I'm not like I hate it. I'm just like it's not as good as I remember it being, because I remember thinking like, yeah, it's a great game, and I was like, it doesn't quite hold up as well. According to the lore of this game, it's like you were raised by Chozos, like, or Samus was. So like we'll translate these things as like they shouldn't have to translate them because that should be your language you learned growing up when they raised you. It's like, okay, let's skedaddly do. I'm pretty sure there's nothing here else I can do. It's too slow. Loading. Let's see. So there's 2 other doors I can't quite get to. Yeah, I need like a high jump. And for the love of me, I just cannot get that jump. So let's see, where do I need to go on the map? 3D maps, not fun. That's where the space pirates were. Okay, so through that door, I think should hopefully loop me back. Get back down to Lava Caverns. Seems to be pretty much where I need to go. Then I keep exploring other places, like, ooh, what's over here now? Let's see, so yeah, where I need to get is actually elevator. There's an elevator here. Let's see where this one goes. My kind of like big problem with this game is that when you play this thing like Super Metroid, because the original Metroid was just way too damn confusing. Okay, this is where I really don't want to be, actually, to be honest. But like when you play like Super Metroid, you have memorable locations. This game, I really don't process that information like that. It's just kind of like I just don't. There's nothing that really sticks in my mind like for landmark locations. It seems like I'm always stumbling through and struggling to remember where exactly I need to be. This is actually a room I got to last stream, but you need to have the grapple beam to get across. So that was a no-go. Don't want to be here, it turns out, because that's just going the wrong way. I need to go to the other elevator. Hopefully the stream's holding up for you. It looks like I didn't get transcodes tonight. I was not blessed by Twitch. So it looks like I'm just streaming 1080p 60. So if it's like bugging out for you or anything, or having problems, let me know. I can always try to drop it down to 720p. So I know not everybody who watches my stream has the best of internet connections around the world, so let's see. I think this is... Yeah, so that's where I need to go. I need to find that elevator. So straight, then up and over. I am just like exhausted. Big surprise, I know, but I'm also like in a lot of pain too, because yesterday I went shopping and it was like I had to like hit up 2 different stores, and it was just like did way too much. And then like my mom fell yesterday, and I had to help her off the floor, which I'm not supposed to be doing. So I was like, ah, crap. So I kind of hurt my back that way. But I actually saw my back surgeon today. He was like really impressed. He was like, "You are a completely different person from when I met you, like, you know, last year." He's like, well, yeah, it's amazing when you're not living in constant pain and agony that you actually turn out to be a better, nicer person. He's like, yeah, it's like, you were like completely different. I'm like, that's cool. Let's see, so... Yeah, this is still on the way where I need to go, just making sure. So he's like, okay, he's like, you're doing great, your back x-rays look fine. He's like, we just need to do it like get you checked out again like every 3 months. Just do X-rays to make sure everything's healing the way it should. It's like there's no cracks or defects in your hardware, like your bones not cracking around the screws, which can sometimes happen. I learned. I'm like, oh geez, that would be bad. He's like, yeah. So he's like, that's not happening at all. It's like everything's looking fine. So he's like, go to physical therapy. They're gonna actually send me to a physical therapy place, which I live pretty close to one. And red plasma beam, I don't have that yet. So they should hopefully before Friday be giving me a call to get that set up to start going to them, because I was asking questions like, when can I start driving again? Like when can I start trying to do these things? When can I start exercising and stuff? And they said like, well, you have your treadmill. You can start walking on your treadmill again. That's fine. Just don't overdo it. Like no running. I'm like, the only time I'm ever gonna run is if I'm on fire, so I don't plan on having that happen while I'm on a treadmill of all things. So I'm like, okay, that's gonna be cool. So I can just do walking again. And so like they're fine with that. And then physical therapy needs to do like a strength assessment because I had nerve problems with my right leg from the back problems. So they need to make sure, like, see what my leg strength is and maneuverability and stuff like that, and they'll make the judgment call of like when I can really start driving. They said they probably expect me to start being able to most likely go back to work or actually look for a job like around the 9-month mark. So we're talking about closer to end of the year, like December, which is like usually not the best time. So maybe around September, around my birthday, that might be closer, but it's still a ways off. Like it's still way too soon for that for you. So like, that's fine, I can live with that. Another wonderful problem with the simulator: no turbo buttons. You don't have the ability to set up turbo buttons, and that makes me sad. It's like, why do I not have the ability to do that? Even my beloved Sega Saturn SSF emulator lets you set up turbo buttons. They're like, hey, set up your turbo buttons. I'm like, cool, thanks for the option. I don't need them right now. Can you hit that? There we go. Now I feel better. So you gonna tell me about the furnace that I can't get to? Yep. It's like, hey, look, there's something over here. You can't get to it. But it's there. It's like, I don't care, game. Let me know when I get there, actually. We're very close to it, and then I'll start caring. Before then, not so much. Sleep. My cat just got angry because I picked up a can of Diet Ginger Ale and put it on my desk. On top of the coaster. It's not gonna wreck the desk. It's fine. I know you're concerned about it, but you're okay. Just go back to sleep. Alright, so we're back in the Magmoor Caverns. This is where I really need to be in, actually. So, let's see. Took the elevator there. Yep. Alright, so I'm back where I need to be. I'm going to do a save state. Which, once again, Dolphin is a great emulator, but it still has problems they haven't added, like they haven't fixed in 15 years. Like, to my knowledge, I don't have a button to do a fast save. It's like you have to go bring up the Dolphin over, like, the main window for it, go to emulation, save state the slot, and then finally pick your slot you want to save in. It's like, whereas in RetroArch is like, just hit F3 to like F2 to save, F4 to load. It's like, thank you. Let's see. hotkey settings. There are hotkeys. Okay, so you can do this. Ooh, there's even task tools here. They've gotten fancy. Frame advancing, decrease, increase speeds, movie start recording, start playback. Toggle pause, F10, stop. Yeah, so they have hotkeys you can do. Where the save state loads. Okay. So you can make hotkeys to save and to load, but they're for specific slots. That's kind of weird. Wow, I've never looked at these options before. Like, this is really kind of cool. Alright, enough of this. Back to the game. So I'm going to do something stupid since I just saved. Let's go running through the magma. The liquid hot magma. Oh no! I was hoping there'd be like a platform I could get to. Okay! Okay, so this room is just instant death. Got it. Death through exploration. Okay, so there's a magnetic railing in the room, which is fine because I don't have that ability yet. This is one thing that makes me sad, is that there's actually a whole bunch of cheats for this game. Let's pull them up. It only takes place once, takes effect when the game is restarted. Unfortunately, it does not apply if you load up a save. So if you have to, you can do these things like infinite missiles, health, have the power bomb, have all the suits you need, the weapons, so forth, but you have to start a new game. Because if you turn on these codes, restart to activate them, then load up your game, it doesn't care. It's like, well, your save file didn't have them loaded up, so tough. It's like, oh, come on. Why are you being like this, game? You could have been cool, man. Yeah, this is where you need a magnetic crack, and then you can go around here, no problem, and no. Don't have that ability. Looked like there'd be something there as a secret. There is not. Ew. Okay. Another thing too that kind of irks me from playing Super Metroid is Super Metroid, you can spam your missiles like crazy, just flip them on and just hammer the button as fast as you can fire Like if you're like real close to an enemy, like this is an enemy here, you can just like 20 missiles in like 2 seconds, and bam, just light them up. In this game, it's like it's very slow shooting. Like your blaster can do decent speeds, which doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it's like shooting missiles is. It's like I'm jamming out as fast as I can. This is as good as you go. Like maybe 1 missile per 1.5 seconds or something like that. Oh crap. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna live. But if it happens, then I'm gonna die. I gotta say, rolling around like this really reminds me of Super Monkey Ball. My brother actually had that, because he bought... My brother Chris had the GameCube. He actually was, like, all about it. I didn't care. I had my Xbox at the time, because, like, I bought it just to... I actually bought my Xbox, original Xbox, just to play Splinter Cell. Because we had the demo, because I was working in the electronics section at the time at Walmart back then, and they had the demo for Splinter Cell before it came out. And I'd play it on my break or my lunch. I'm like, this is a great game. I'm gonna buy a system. I'm like, when Splinter Cell comes out, like, hold a system for me just in case. Like, I didn't think we were gonna sell them out because the Xbox had been there for a while anyway. It was well established. I was like, give me an Xbox and a copy of the game, I'll come in and buy it. And that's exactly what they did for me. They actually got me like the bundle, like it was like came with Sega GT and Jet Set Radio Future. Amazing game, good sequel to good Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio, whatever it was called here in the States. But yeah, my brother was all about the GameCube at first, and he bought, so he had. Gosh, he had like Super Monkey Ball, which I remember playing and loving it, but that's what kind of rolling around kind of reminds me. I was like, yeah, it's a fun game. I should try that once in a while. Just play that on stream. Because actually have like the original version of those games that were based on like the old Labyrinth marble games, and like you'd have like this rotating play field on this box, different holes and stuff, and you're trying to get your marble through this maze, and it's like damn near impossible. Heard me, so my brother and I were like used to games like that, so we're like, okay, cool. So we got onto the concept of monkey ball really fast, in that you're not moving the ball, you're moving the world around the ball or the monkey. So what else did he have? He bought that. He had the Sonic collection, which I actually ended up getting myself too as part of my retro collecting. Let's see. He bought Super Mario Sunshine, and that's why I learned I did not like Mario Sunshine. I was very disappointed in that game. With Mario 64 being like one of my favorite Mario games of all time. Then coming into like them playing Mario Sunshine just was a major disappointment for controls. It just felt like a step backwards. Bendo Drifts, that's the ice place I was at, so I've been there. So I just need to kind of keep falling back through here, I guess. Just keep backtracking. I'm not sure where I need to go or what I'm missing, so it's like I know I just need to keep exploring, because if I go to the ice place, it's just... I'm just getting my butt kicked. I'm not supposed to be there yet. I don't have the right weapons for it. So I need to be down in here, because it's like, this is where I just got the suit for, so... I know that at least. Yeah, it's like, my brother's games like just didn't really stick out for me like for what he had. It was kind of like a lot of forgettable stuff. So I didn't get, like I said, my GameCube until this game came out. So I thought it was alright. It was like, it's okay. And Mario Sunshine's definitely a game that I would put on my second chances list, except for I play it like every 3 years. I pull it out and try it and go, nope, still don't like it. It's like not gonna change it, even though I emulate it, and now so it's easier on my hands. But still, it's like it's a game I'm still like, no, it's not for me. All right, so let's take a look here at the map. So. A door behind this pillar over here somewhere. That's where I need to end up at. There it is. I can see it over there. Great. Down there, okay. Okay, so there's gotta be some place I can get down to drop down into there and roll through a maze-like structure. So that's where I need to end up. Backtrack over here. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm where I need to be. There's actually a really cool mod for... I need to try it out. Oh, that's cool. I haven't seen that in a while. Forgot about that. If you blow up something very close to you, you can actually see Samus's reflection on the screen. I don't know how it's going to show up on stream here, but you can see your eye like just blink at you. Seeing that for the first time, going like, that is awesome. It's all back here's missiles? Oh, come on. Oh. So I gotta find my way out of here somewhere. Oh, that was hard to open. I have no idea where I need to go. I'm kind of lost. I was thinking, okay, cool, this is the way I need to go for exploration, and it's missiles, which is nice, but it's not making progress. so that's pretty sure this is where I came in. It is. No, let go! Okay, so I've just gone everywhere I can with this underground, at least. I was hoping to see if there's like something I missed, like a abominable structure or type I didn't see before, but I think I got it all. I guess it just loops you around to where you need to go. Okay, so much for that quest. Okay, can get up that wall. Is there anything back here? Yeah, this is like looping me back to where I've already been, though. Oh. Yeah, speedrunners just like skip so much of this, it's not funny. This is like, gosh, I forgot like how much you get lost in this game. There's like only certain ways. It also restricts you too. Like you can only enter through one way, and if you screw it up, you have to go traveling like all the way around to try to find your way back. And that seems to be the case because I can't get through to this door. The door over here on the right, which leads into the pit tunnel. Can't get back into there to get back to, you know, the save station where I came in through originally. To explore, see if there's anything I missed, because that's like a high drop that I can't get back to, and it's a whole bunch of lava, I think. So I'll go and check it out. Let's make a save state right now, but this may actually end like my playing of this game for tonight a little bit early, for at least like going through. But then like we'll just load up and try something like just overpowered, have everything break the game, just mess around with it at that point. Really, if I can't keep playing normally, we'll screw around and have some fun that way. Okay, so it's all fiery death down below, and the, as Twala said, it was his peanut butter and jelly as he eats it. The cool, nice ripple effect. Well, actually, maybe I can't get up here, huh? Okay. So that brings me up over... No, it's actually where I need to go. Okay, or actually not where I need to go, but it's going to help me go where I need to be. With the funky camera angles. That's how you're going to play it? Yeah, so I like playing this game has really made me appreciate Super Metroid even more. It's a game I enjoy playing. It's a little weird because it's a Super Nintendo game that has 5 frames of input delay, which is really bizarre. And which is why it's like damn near impossible to play the game on things like the Super Nintendo Classic, which adds like 3 on top of it. So you have like 8 frames of input delay. It's like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. But it's got such a delay to the controls. It's kind of an obstacle to get around. I guess they're trying to make it feel like you have this weighty combat suit. I always wanted it to be like a little quicker and zippier, which emulating and RetroArch can kind of fix, but not a whole lot. You can reduce it down by about a frame or two. But it's made me like appreciate that game more just for the level design and layout. Like you can get pretty much anywhere you need to be, and like places you don't need to be at or shouldn't be at, just through your skill alone. You know, if you are good at wall jumping, you can wall jump past a couple different obstacles. You can navigate through the water area. You're just going to go stupidly slow, but you can still do it. Like you're not supposed to be there. But they had the design in such a way that you were never really bottlenecked or stopped. I think except for like one instance on the pirate ship. Like if you can get past that, then you're fine. Like then you can keep exploring through the rest of it, like how the game wants you to progress. But like this game is like, they just kind of designed it like, okay, well it's our first 3D Metroid game and we're not quite sure how things should be moving and laid out yet, so you know, there's parts where you just get dead-ended and you have to go the long way around or you can't do anything about it. It's like, you kind of get in these weird positions. It's like, it doesn't seem like it's as thoughtfully laid out. That's where it came from. I also get stuck on doorways a lot. It's like, oh, come on. Please let me out. So where is the exit? It's going to be... Okay, bumpable door that I could not see, or wall. That blends in perfectly. That's like not even different colored. Maybe it is, maybe it's my color blindness coming back to bite me in the butt, I don't know, but it seems like that was like not indicated at all. This is a save room. I might as well save. It's nothing officially there, so I'd like to go back way far from wherever. So I wonder how this is going to work. Like if I go through and like load up a brand new game with like every single cheat code imaginable, like how that's gonna work because you lose all your stuff. This is like it's like Symphony of the Night, where you have all your stuff and then you lose it and you have to get it all back again. This game is definitely guilty of that mechanic. So it's like, okay, you have all the stuff, and then they take it away from you. It's like, just kidding. God, just kidding. You're actually all set. Pardon me. Speaking of, excuse me, and all of a sudden I was having indigestion problems. My pain meds are not playing nice tonight. Speaking of Symphony of the Night, there is a mod of it that I have. It's actually the guy just modified the entire game file itself for the Sega Saturn that basically utilizes the 4 megabyte RAM card expansion slot. So what it's supposed to do is reduce down the instances of slowdown happening, and also like load up doors and rooms theoretically faster. It's kind of weird. Like it's kind of a mixed bag. Like sometimes like I still have slowdown. Like I tried it out on my Saturn itself. Like it burned it and fired it up. And sometimes like it's like the first wolf you encounter is Maria. When you do like your jumping kick through it, like the game just slows down and the game just keeps going full speed. It's like, wow, this is nice. It's like the PlayStation. And then the next one you encounter, it might do the same thing. Like you might have slowdown, or it might still go really fast. It's like you just don't know what's going to happen. And it seems like transitioning to brand new areas, let's say you go to like the bell tower or something, like you discover that area, like it takes like an extra 2 seconds to load. So it's kind of weird that way. But the big thing that I like about it more than anything else is it allows you to skip the FMVs and the cutscenes. So if you've seen all that stuff before, if you're like a speedrunner, you don't have to stop and watch the beginning of the game anymore. Like in 1786 in Pennsylvania, a Girl Scout accidentally wandered into the pit there and became Dracula's servant, aka the founder of the militant wing of the Salvation Army. You don't have to watch things like that. Just hit start button, and skip right past it. It's like that was the big thing that was kind of bugged me. Missile transport, and wonder if that's through here still. So that's the kind of nice thing about it. It's like, yay, you can skip past all that stuff. If you've seen it before, you don't have to watch it again. Okay, this is a door. This is where you come through and you get hosed. If you drop down, then you have to go all the way around in this weird like long loop to get back to like this point. It's such a pain in the butt. So you drop down. So I'm pretty much back where I've been at. I'm in a loop. I don't know where to go. I'm lost. We're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna do a brand new save. We're gonna cheat on everything. We're gonna have a blast. So let's get that set up real quick. The music I didn't think was that great. There was like one or two like spots that kind of has like throwbacks to Super Metroid that I really appreciated. I'm like, that's cool. But other than that, I'm kind of like, it's serviceable. It's just everything for this game to me seems kind of like not mediocre, but it's not amazing. It's not like, yes, this is the best thing ever. I'm just like, it's fine. It's serviceable. It does what it needs to do. This code must be on. Well, let's put this on then. Let's see. Leave infinite health off. Missiles will be fun. Have Ice Beam, Wave Beam, Plasma Beam, Phazon Beam, Morph Ball, Boost Ball, Spider Ball, Morph Ball Bomb, Power Bomb, all the suits. Combat Visor, Scan Visor, X-Ray, Thermal Visor, Space Jump Boots. So we're going to get all sorts of stuff. I'm not sure what Moon Jump and Space Jump Boots are going to do differently. Repel Beam, Missile Launcher, Charge Beam. Have Beam Combo ABC. Those I do not know what they are, but we're going to do them here. Changing cheats will only take effect when the game is restarted. So we're going to close that. I'm going to stop the emulation. I'm going to exit that out. I'm going to relaunch the Dolphin. See, I got Metroid Prime 2 right here, but I just never tried it. Codes are still in effect. Okay, that's good. Dolphin's kind of weird. Sometimes it has problems with detecting the right window when you reload it. Here we go. So in summation here, now we're just kind of screwing around. I was really wanting to hopefully get at least minimum 6 hours of playtime out of this, just normal game-wise, but I'm stuck and I'm just like, forget it. So final review of this game here before we start having some fun, hopefully, is that I started off, last time I played this game was about 10 years ago, when Dolphin got pretty good on the computer, like the first time I hit up there and started doing really amazing things. That's when I last played it here on the computer, and I got about 2/3 of the way through. Actually, no, that was at the GameCube. I don't remember how far I got on the computer. Anyway, I thought it was a pretty decent game. I remember having fun with it, going through and exploring. It wasn't blowing me away or anything. The game's never done that, but I thought it was pretty neat and decent. This did not render correctly. Render with scan lines. So playing it again years later, I have to say I'm not really liking it. The game just didn't kind of hold up. Over time, it didn't really stand the test of time, so to speak. Like I've heard people say that about GoldenEye, where it's like they've actually told me it's a terrible game, and I'm like, it's not terrible, and they're like, yeah, I'm just not used to the controller. That's different. You have to get used to the controller like this. It's a single stick analog game. You know, you got to get used to it that way. The game's not bad, but I'm just not. I don't think it's really that much fun. I think it just hasn't really carried the test of time, so to speak. So it's just a change of our expectations for what we think gaming should be and what we've adapted to. This game is 18 years old. It can vote. So it's just how our perception of time has changed what was acceptable for video games, and right now it's kind of like it hasn't really done that. So I kind of went from liking this game to kind of going, I'd probably pass on it. Maybe one of these days I'll finally get around to trying Metroid Prime 2, which I still have never tried. But yeah, so for me, this game's kind of a pass. I mean, if you've played it before in the past, give it a go, but don't temper your expectations, because you'll probably have the nostalgia or rose-tinted glasses, and I think it's just not going to hold up for you, unfortunately. Alright, so let's hope that these codes worked. Oh, let's me skip it this time. Nice. X-ray. Thermal, I can be like the Predator. Speaking the other day, do you suppose it's possible if someone threw out a pack of papers from the ISS towards the Earth that they burn up or float to the Earth? Most likely, it would basically what it would do, because you're thinking like would it float? It wouldn't. We're still within Earth's gravity. They're basically, that looks like there's no gravity. They're actually technically falling, but they're moving forward so fast that it's negating their falling speeds, which is crazy to think about. It would burn up in the atmosphere because you're moving at the ISS something around, I think, 12,000 miles per hour, just about. So you're still going at an insane speed. Like I said, they're technically falling. They still have the same amount of gravity as you and I have here on Earth on the surface, but they're moving at such a speed that it negates that downward pull. It's crazy. So you're actually throwing an object out at 12,000 miles an hour towards the Earth. It's still going to hit the air and the friction, and it will eventually just go through and just burn up because of the insane speeds it's moving. It would not survive. Now, if you have something like from like a weather balloon that goes up to like 100,000 feet that hasn't gotten out of that area yet, though, still, I mean, you're getting closer to the edge, that would have survived a fall. But if you're on the ISS and chuck something towards the Earth, it's going to burn up just because when it finally hits that, that amount of weight down close to it, there you get tricking to the barriers for the air friction. It's going to just destroy it completely. A good thought experiment, though. You're like, hey, what would happen? It's like, that's a good question. I've never really thought of that myself. Like, yeah, okay, that's a good question. I can see that. Oh, baby, I can. Okay, game's not quite sure what to do here. It's like you hit the ceiling, and then we're gonna keep trying to keep going up. Oh, okay, that's what this code does. Hyper mode. Oh, daddy like hyper mode. I'm not sure what I did to get into it, though. Okay, so let's find out what my controls are exactly. I'm like, I accidentally turned it on. I'm like, oh, neat. Okay, now how do I turn that off? Controller. You're not gonna tell me. You're a dick game. Come on. Okay, since I understand this stuff, have another one for me. Okay, think of Pluto in orbit around the sun. It isn't orbiting around the sun. It's already doing that. Unless you have another question you're typing out still, but it is technically orbiting the sun. The heliosphere for the sun extends out massively stupid long range for its gravitational pull that people aren't really kind of aware of. Like even if you go past Pluto, like another 100,000 miles or whatever, like another couple million miles, you're still in Earth's, it's still the sun's gravitational pull. Right, Prime, GameCube, controls. Let's see if I can pull up a Metroid wiki. Here we go. Oh, I think I must have flicked the C controller, C1. Let's say I forgot about those. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Ooh, wave being pretty snazzy. Pardon me. Okay. So you said, does gravity have an instantaneous pull? The sun just vanished with the gravity immediately disappeared, and Pluto start going through a straight line curve for about 4 hours until the gravity waves disappear. It does have gravitational waves there for it. It wouldn't be instantaneous. Like exactly like you said, it would take a little bit of time for it to actually hit it there to it, but about the speed of light. Gravity pretty much operates about the same type of pull there for it. So you'd have it disappear. They would still move on their same trajectory, but it wouldn't be like an immediate thing. It wouldn't be like days later they'd suddenly lose it there, but it would be pretty much there. Like you'd have like there's still a little curve to it, but then it eventually straighten out and go whatever direction they were moving at that point in time. For my understanding of the astrophysics behind it, of the momentum behind how gravity supposedly works well, because gravity is kind of like it's really when they talk about like space fabric and the way things pull, and it really is like putting like a heavy ball on a blanket where it kind of pulls things down towards it. So you'd have that there. So if you suddenly have something like that massive gravitational pull suddenly disappear, you might have ripples for it. You'd have definitely big issues there for it. So it should like basically it's kind of have them go probably for a little bit more on that trajectory path and just go for whatever direction they were heading at that moment and keep going straight towards that area. Really? That's cool. These are the things that I think about on other totally insane nonsense. Yeah, so this is what Moon Jump does. It's always before I accidentally hit the C button. It's like you can just keep tapping jump and you just keep going up forever. So it was like, sweet. We were back in high school. It was like on the bus on the way home. Two guys like were just like having this debate like, what holds a tree in the ground? Is it the soil that keeps the tree upright, or is it the roots that do it there? Because you can just like put a tree down, no roots there, put it in there, like ram it into the ground far enough, it's gonna stay there. I'm like, neither. Gravity holds it in place. They're like, oh yeah, like you guys are asking the wrong question here. It's not the trees, it's not the roots, it's not the tree itself, it's not the soil, it's gravity. That's what keeps it in place. And I was looking up like crazy old stuff like wait a minute. I don't think I ever went through here before. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done this. That's pretty crazy. I've never noticed that before. I always noticed they roll in there. I'm like, whatever, go through the door and keep going. Huh. Gosh, what was I gonna say? Can't remember, but oh well. Something important, I'm sure. Oh yeah, so I was reading about like people are like, oh, the Earth is flat and other insane nonsense like that, which gravity does not allow for. Just as nature abhors a vacuum, it also abhors large objects that are not round. Gravity will actually form things to be roundish. But back in the day, and apparently some people are starting to bring this back because they're stupid and got nothing else to do on their times, with their hands, is that the Earth is hollow. And it's like we just have like a thin crust, here or there. We can get past that, and the inside is hollow. And it's like if that's true, and if you were to dig down into that hollow Earth, so to speak, you would have a problem because gravity pulls everything down. So technically, you'd fall down towards the center of the Earth, and you'd be stuck there for eternity. You'd instantly like lose gravity at that point. You would like not be able to do anything. It's like you'd be stuck. See, the reason why I asked, the scientists in the 80s were telling people how to fight gravity. You just take two rocks with similar sizes and one follows the same amount of weight. This is what they put in it. Take two magnets, put them facing towards each other, or facing each other where the forces were pushing each other. Okay. Both of them together, and they found the magnet rock reached the Earth slower. I mean, you can have different things like drag and so forth. It's actually not. It's gosh, what's his name? Was it Galileo? I think it was, who did the drop experiments. Is like you can have things drop, or like gravity affects everything the same way. It's just your perception, different things on how it pulls onto there. Like if you drop a bowling ball and a feather off of a building, the bowling ball is going to hit the ground first before the feather, but gravity is still pulling on both forces equally the same. So you could have magnets here trying to push on each other, which might seem like it's slowing it down, but it's like you may stop one ball from hitting faster or slower than the other, but gravity has not been changed. It's still hitting those same forces down at the same time. So that's not been negated. So you might find that one rock might hit faster than the other, but the gravitational pull is it hasn't been modified or changed in any way possible. Which is what cracks me up, because I see people like try to do anti-gravity things, and they're just doing magnetics and just changing the rates of how fast things fall, but for their perception, but it hasn't changed the actual gravity of the said object. Where was that really cool, insane one I had? Power beam? No, that's a lame one. Ice beam. Plasma. Wave. Hyper mode, yeah! I'm not sure if this didn't render right or what, but it's pretty cool. I don't need your stupid missiles. don't think I've done the ice beam in a while. Yeah, that's slow. Chill out. Loud. No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I caused the station to explode, but to be honest, it was kind of a bad shape when I got here. Let's be honest about that. They destroyed a lot of stuff before I got here. How do I change my missiles? I had that up here a second ago. Let's bring up that window again. Here we are. Okay, so it's only one missile you have, but if I do this. Okay, so that's your standard bomb. I can fly. I'm guessing that's a power bomb? Yeah, that would be a power bomb for sure. Alright, so let me update my stream real quick here. Stream title. Messing around with Prime, that'll do. Okay, that does not seem to be very strong. Remember, like, the power bomb just being like, kill everything on the screen, you know? This game's like, oh, that kind of tickles. It's like, it didn't quite do that well. Yeah, it's one shot. Normally you gotta like keep shooting them and then fight them for about 2 minutes or so. It's like one shot of the hyper beam, done. Yeah, done, kiddo. So technically Samus does kind of cause the explosion, but I'm not really sure if it was because accumulated damage or from doing that. Who's to say, really? Yeah, the above suspension, well, they didn't plan on you having this ultimate hyper beam that I'm not sure if it's even rendering correctly or not, because I've never seen it in the actual game itself, so I don't even know if it's supposed to have like a blackout like this or not, so you just hold it down, it's just like wreck everything. Oh, so I'm supposed to jump over there, huh? Okay. What was there? Looking man, or woman, I should say. I think it's the next tunnel has like this big piston that tries to murder you. Yeah, this is the room that, like, I ran into at first, like, when I first turned into the last stream, was like, I almost literally got crushed by just walking through the door, because I had time just right. I'm like, oh, that was close. I find it really weird, because the game is like, hey, you have a grapple beam, here's how you use it, but it's like, and then it instantly takes it away from you. It's like, what was even the point of doing that? Bayonetta 2 does the same thing, like, hey, here's this really cool mech you're gonna use at the end of the game, and you're not gonna see it anywhere else unless you play as Rosa, but by then you've already beaten the game on hard mode, so you know exactly what's going on, so it's like, not really surprised, but yes, this is where you normally lose all your items right now. You have them, but they just magically stop malfunctioning and you lose your cool shoulder pads, which actually free up your arm movement because then, like, you can raise your hands above your head. So you have those big giant things there. Oh, missile malfunction. Oh no, what about my missiles? That would be terrible. I still retain them, which is awesome. Room is depressed. I'm sorry, Room. Yay! Also, another true science fact is that explosions are louder in space because there's no air to get in the way of them. I also like it too because, like, people are like, there's no sound in space. Like, there is sound in space. It just doesn't transmit out to you. It doesn't have a medium to get from one point to the other, but sound exists. I mean, because, I mean, it's how it works. Like, we have a medium, like, air, first of all, is not, it's like, it's a gas, but it's actually technically a liquid. We're actually moving through liquid right now. It's what air is. But that actually has a medium to transmit sound to us for the way how we perceive it. Sound exists in space, but it doesn't have a way to move from one area to the next, which is a very good thing. Because if sound was able to be transmitted through space, we would be deaf from just the sound of our own sun, because that is a constant thermonuclear explosion that goes off every single, like, millisecond. It's exploding like all the world's arsenal times, like like a million or so constantly, we would be deaf from that there. We might even not really... Actually, no, the acoustics wouldn't destroy it, but we definitely would not have eardrums at that point. Space is loud as hell, so it's kind of good that there's not really a way to transmit that. So normally, you do this kind of weird funky jump. Over here. What's over here? Oh, hey, look, cool. We'll cheat this. Yeah, so remember, I think speedrunners go this way, I think? No, you'd have to have the bomb zone to get to it, because I remember they do some kind of weird jump and get over and get to the high boots early. I don't think I'm going the right way for it, but, yeah, there's the high boots. Yeah, so they do that jump. You can actually jump off the ship, get the high boots early, and that just like sequence breaks the rest of the game just about. It gets you everywhere you're not supposed to be. You have to do like... Yeah, so you have like, you can do extra space jumps, so you can do like jump twice. You already have like a really high jump, but you can do it twice and get a little extra boost. Or cheat like me and just hold it down and fly away. But in order to do like the jump to get over here, like you have to be on the spaceship, like right over, like on the cusp, but like right... Wrong button, because I'm thinking they're like right over here, barely on it. And you have to bring up the visor beam, lock on, I think, to this thing here, and do like a... You like move and like do a really quick hop jump. And if you're lucky, like you can catch the edge of one of these platforms up here, and that gets you going, and you can get the moon jump. And like I tried that for 45 minutes straight and could not get it to work. So I'm going to save it real quick. I'm going to disable the moon jump because that's kind of weird. I'm not sure if it's going to save it or not, but we're going to find out. So I'm wait for it to show me on the prompt for my stream. There we go. Okay. Stop. Hammer time. Exit Dolphin. We're going to reload Dolphin. I don't know why it always brings up this screen instead, then you have to manually switch it over to show you what you want. Let's see. Oh, this cracks me up. These are like the Super Nintendo games. So you're playing an emulator, a GameCube emulator that's emulating Super Nintendo games. That's an emulator inside an emulator. Emulatorception, if you will. Properties, AR codes, moon jump, hold B, get rid of you. All right, so let's see if the save saves all that stuff or not. We'll see if I still have that or it took it off. Hopefully it took it off. Okay, cool, it's off, so... Predator activity. There's a predator. Coming to haunt. Play. So the game's like, hey, you have all this stuff you're not supposed to have right now, so apparently you've gotten everything, so here's your endgame stuff. Can't quite get up there. Okay, cool. Ooh, I just thought of something. So what's going to happen if I get... So I have the maximum 255 missiles. What happens if I pick up a missile container right now? I think I saw something over here. Hold on. No, it's a plant I saw. Okay, so there's a missile upgrade right in here. What happens if I get it? Like, but you have it already, so... Okay, so it does not overflow. Okay. So I'm wondering if we're gonna have like a either like an overflow bug or something, and no, it just doesn't change. So this is getting trippy. Predator vision. Oh man, did you ever... Like, Predator is a fun movie. I like it a lot. It is a movie that was literally saved by editing. And actually, I think it was a writer's strike at the time, saved that movie because the original concept of what it was going to be. Oh man, that was going to be really terrible. Thanos just had missiles, but you know. Yeah, it's like Jean-Claude Van Damme famously was the Predator, but it wasn't the Predator that we know now, like the mandible jaws. It looked like some kind of like weird lobster bug thing. It was just... It was terrible. And then like I think it was it must have been a writer's strike, I think it was, or something. There was some kind of strike in Hollywood at the time. And they were like, you know, the studio wasn't happy with what was going on. The director wasn't happy with what the suit looked like and the train and everything. Van Damme was an asshole because he wanted to have all his martial arts on show, and he couldn't because it was going to be putting in this weird orange lobster suit that nobody told him was going to be chroma keyed out. So, like, he's going to be invisible, so... And no high kicking, because he's like, I want to show off my martial arts, and they're like, nope. That's not what you're here for. You're here to move like a, you know, like an alien, acrobatic skills. So he quit / was fired. Missiles low, really? That's funny. Game is kind of messed up with it. So, they had the time, like, for the strike, for whatever reason happened there, to get more money from the studio. Then they reworked it. I think they brought in Stan Winston at that point, reworked everything, and got us a Predator that we're aware of. They did rewrites for the script. I mean, it like literally just like saved the movie. Still can't get up there. Okay, so... Whee! That's cool. Thanks for dropping by. See you next time. Next stream's probably going to be a Ninja Gaiden game of somewhat, and then I got to figure out what game I want to move on to. I think I'll be doing El Shaddai, which is going to be really trippy and weird. Chorizo Ruins. Come for the ruins, stay for the flavor. Okay, this is what it's probably supposed to be rendered like. Okay, cool, so it does show them everything. I was wondering if it would show them, like, you know, underground where they'd be, maybe. Does X-Ray show it? No, that's really not helpful. For me. Oh, that's pretty cool looking. Oh, that's where a moon jump would have really helped. Oh well. Can't be begging. I can beg. I won't. Huh, interesting. So the Hyper Beam doesn't seem to take care of those guys, but I think a Charm Shot does? Ice Beam does too. Good to know. I wonder where the save station could be. Okay, so it seems like certain things, like just missiles, have to be used. Like, well, what if I try doing all these cool other things I don't have, like, that I didn't have before? The game's like, we don't care. Interesting. Alright, so hang tight for just 1 second. I need to use the restroom. I will be right back. We're going to silence the geeks for now, let the ambient audio play. Hang tight, be back in about 2 minutes. Okay, I am back. I'm sorry about taking for so long. Had to let the cat out. Turns out, grabbed a cookie. The other day I was shopping. My dad's like, "Bring home cookies." I'm like, "Okay." I normally don't get cookies, so that's a big thing for me, really. The reason why I don't get them is because I eat them. I am a visual eater. If I know something is in the house that I shouldn't be eating, or it's there, like cookies or something like that, or pizza or whatever, I will eat it. Which is why it was really much nicer when I was out on my own, because it was easier for me to control my diet because I wouldn't buy things like that. Like I would every once in a while, but in order to make sure I didn't have that problem like temptation anymore like that, I just wouldn't buy cookies or things of that nature, and it worked out pretty well for me. My dad's like, buy cookies, so we bought some. I saw that they had Chips Ahoy s'mores cookies. Pardon me, if you're not familiar with what a s'more is, you take 2 graham crackers, a marshmallow, and a piece of chocolate, sandwich them together, and heat it up. Usually over a campfire. It's a camping thing there. It's gooey, it's messy, it's delicious. And they made s'mores cookies, so it's kind of weird. Like you try them by itself without like heating them up, and it tastes kind of like almost like a coconut cookie. It's kind of bizarre to describe. But then you put it in the microwave for like 10, 12 seconds, and it melts up all the chocolate inside. And it comes pretty decent. It comes almost like a s'more. It's not bad. Wow, okay. So, like I said, I'm just basically experimenting right now because I hit a dead end in the game. So I'm like, let's just have some fun wrecking stuff. So I am cheating to use all sorts of like weapons I'm not supposed to have. Oh no, it's a tarp. But yeah, the Reese's s'mores cookies are not bad. Just heat them up in the microwave for 10 to 12 seconds, depending on your microwave, and it's pretty good. I don't think I'm doing any damage with the plasma beam, to be honest. Let's try just a plain old power beam. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like, so plasma beam's like no effect. It's like, nah, you're not gonna cheat your way through this. So you're not supposed to have this weapon, like the plasma and everything else right now at this point in time, of course. There we go. Okay, so you can farm a little bit faster that way. I've heard that Yeah, you can like rapid fire if you like. Because normally this is like one rocket per second and a half or so, maybe? Just eyeballing it. You just tap it as fast as you can. But if you alternate back and forth between missile and beam shot, like you hit missile because it's out already, then your normal beam, which would normally transition you back to this, you have to shoot it again, so it's like double tap. If you go back, if you just like, yeah, you can like rapid fire a little bit faster if you just keep like going back and forth. Kind of cheese it a little bit. Okay, so that takes me down to Magmore Caverns. Yeah, so I made it here before, but the magnetic tracker course doesn't work, so I didn't have it. I think it's like one of the last things you get in this game on top of it. Pardon me. So now I can try it out. Thought I did. I thought I had it. Maybe it needs to be activated. I don't know. Okay, press and hold R to do its thing. Okay, I was like, how do I do this? So I can't change my suit, apparently, I'm guessing? I'm not sure. Or it's just incorporated in one, I don't understand. There we go. Cool. Ah, you gotta scan things in this room. One of those nonsense puzzle things. Goes a lore, blah blah blah, I don't care. Let's see. Metroid Prime, Cordite. Super missile will blow it up. Okay, well that's good to know. Since I'm cheating like crazy, I know how to cheat properly with the super bomb. Which seemed to do nothing. Okay. It's like, cool, we can do something here, and no, we cannot. Okay, so now when I go down here and make my way eventually to like the ice place, I'm fully equipped. I should be able to handle everybody so I can explore even more. Even Ice Beam doesn't mess with them. Okay, cool. Hey, Twelves, what's up, buddy? Struggling through this game. Well, that's the thing. I'm not really struggling right now because I'm cheating my butt off. Thermal visor, X-ray vision, scanning, normal mode. So actually, I hit like this dead end, and I was like, okay, I'm just getting frustrated. I can't find out where I'm supposed to go, and it's just like this game is not designed nearly as well as Super Metroid is. So like Super Metroid is a game that I think like one exception for the Space Pirates, where you need to do something in order to progress, really, like to open the door to get a suit you need that you have to have. You can pretty much beat the entire game, and speedrunners have done that, like, you know, reverse boss order and stuff like that with like without the right stuff. But but for a lot of the game, like you can get places where without the right equipment, and if you like need to go somewhere or you have to go around, you don't have to go that far. In this game, you have to do like massive backtracking just to get through one door because you went through the wrong door. It's like, well, you can't get back up here. It's one way, spend 10 minutes slogging through the level. It's like it's kind of frustrating, so it's like, okay, screw that. So, hit the thing there, kind of got stuck, didn't know where to go. I'm like, let's just start over and just cheat like crazy. So I gave myself everything. So now I even have like hyper mode, which is great. This is like destroy all, kill everything gun, mostly. So I was having fun, you know, because I didn't want to, you know, shortchange this game mostly. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just try some cheating and have some fun with it, you know, for the last minute at least. Big Metroid 3D first-person shooter is never going to work well. It worked pretty well. it didn't. I still prefer. It's not like a failure. I mean, I've had friends that, and I've talked about it a couple times already. Yeah, so this is interesting. So I have that suit, but the game is like, no, you don't. I guess maybe it's like, yeah, it's just not putting it on for whatever reason. I guess it's all conflicting. Yes, the game's like, hey, you don't have the suit, but I really do. So that's kind of interesting. So I hit another block here. Maybe we'll try Metroid Prime 2, but for me, like, there was a lot of naysayers that the game was not going to work at all in 3D, and it does. But for me, I just still prefer the 2D games a lot more. Mega Man, they were trying to do a 3D first-person shooter like this, kind of like for Mega Man. That really didn't work out. It was like a bizarre concept because it wasn't traditional. It was going to be like a futuristic, like, like different guns and stuff. It was going to be like the gritty hardcore reboot that nobody asked for of Mega Man in 3D. It's like, what? Let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, Maverick Hunter. I think it was, yeah, Maverick Hunter was what they're going to call it. And it just looks. It was just terrible. Yuri of the Wind did a video on it. It's just. There's like parts where you're falling down, you're like skydiving, and yeah, let me show you this game real quick. It's funky. It's like, I'll just pull it up. I'm not gonna play the audio. Let's see, where is Dolphin? Kill that. Take that off. Turn on. Let's see, put this on 720p. That's fine. Desktop. Blam Lamb. So this is the Maverick Hunter. This is the 3D concept, like a Mega Man first-person shooter game that they're doing for, I think, the 360. But you have stuff like this. He's got like a big humongous gun. He's like, right in your face attitude. You know, it's like, this is not Mega Man at all. As you can see, it was gonna go like nowhere. They're like, this is not gonna work. This is not what Mega Man is. So they pulled the plug on it. I think it just got like early concept stuff, like pitching, like, hey, we can do this for you. We can make a game like really cool. And they're like, no, wrong again. What's the Mega Man where he screams that line over and over? I think it was Mega Man X7. It was like burned to the ground. Yeah, it was Flame Hyena or something like that. It's like non-stop screams. It cuts itself off, like, trying to loop itself. It's insane. Yeah, it's just like, it's insane. Yep, so Mega Man X7 was the one there that had that. Alright, so this is interesting. So I've hit a block here again, where I put on, let me check my cheat codes for it. ER have, this says have gravity suit break. I guess it maybe breaks the game, I'm not sure, because it's like break. Like, what? Dolphin. Let me just Google search this real quick. Cheats. I guess maybe they consider it's sequence breaking, but I turned on the cheat codes to have all the suits: gravity suit, phazon suit, and what is it there? The other one, the Varia suit, which is supposed to protect you from the heat, and it's just not doing it. So it's like, okay, that's weird. So I'm stuck here again. So I am SOL. I can't keep going back this way to cheat. So show you all. I didn't even do the grapple beam. Oh no! Now the weird thing is that like with this game, you have to like start a new game file for the cheats to work. Like if you load up a save file, I'm pretty sure if I load up a save file like this, let me try it out here. Actually, it seemed to work last time. Let me try this. Because if you do a save state, it doesn't work right. So I have Metroid Prime 2, but I've never played it. This was fun. You know, I don't know if you remember. I think you started watching my streams around. Must have been maybe Metal Gear Solid 3. I think it was Twalis. I did the full playthroughs. I don't know if you showed up for Twin Snakes when that first came through. That's like the director of this game saw The Matrix as like everything has to be slow motion, bullet time, flipping through the air nonsense. That they made a corny game, which is fun, even cornier. It's amazing. Let's see, properties, AR codes. We'll turn off gravity suit and phase on suit. So we'll just have the various suit. So that should work. So I'm actually going to exit Dolphin just to make sure it does that here. Relaunch it. Does it have right in it? No. He still was not a concept. Actually, he was around then, I think. Yeah, Twin Snakes was like 2004. I think it was. Silicon Knights did the port. I'm just trying to see like what the copyright is for this when this came out. I think it was 2004, I think. Yeah, 2004. So Metal Gear Solid 2 was out. But no, he's sadly not in this game. Yeah, that was number 2. That was Metal Gear Solid 2, where basically Otacon was banging his stepmom, and his sister was in love with him. It wasn't like stepsister, it was sister. It was like, oh my god. Japan, please stop. Yeah, and then like the first game, he was in love with Sniper Wolf. Otacon was like, you can't like it was like it wasn't even like I'm trying to think of like a better way to describe it. It was like delusional parasocial relationship almost. Like he had just seen her once or twice and then convinced himself that they were in love just because she was nice to the dogs on the base, and that was his entire basis for that she likes me because I like dogs too, and she's pretty, and she let me pet the dog, so therefore she likes me. It's like, dude, you are mental. It's like seek help. Okay, so we reloaded that save. .3D send for PC. Yeah, I've seen like the 3D emulator, which the guy actually, whoever developed it, made it like closed source and made it so like, oh, you want to play this game, you use an emulator, you gotta pay me for it. I'm like, nope. So I found like downloaded a cracked version of it, and it's kind of funny because some games it actually breaks when you make it 3D. Like I think it was Mega Man 1 has a problem like that where it's like you can't actually progress at a certain point. Because like just like the way that the blocks come up, like it actually physically stops your character. Hey, did this fix it? No, I'm still in trouble, so, okay. Well, that solves that. Oh, it's on Steam now, really? Okay, I did not know that. I guess maybe it's a different emulator I was thinking of. Huh, okay. So it's early access, but I wonder if there's a charge for it at all, because last time I saw, like I said, this guy was like literally trying to. You can't buy it in early access. Yeah, you basically had like free versions, and then when it got popular, it got picked up by a lot of gaming sites, and went, "Oh, I can make money off this," and made it closed source, and then you have to like pay to use it. It's like, screw you, dude. Like, that's not what emulation's about. It's like about open source, letting everybody play it, have fun, enjoy it, and you just completely, miss the point on that, unfortunately. So that's my thoughts on that. So unfortunately, this game is dead in the water yet again. I was just kind of going through it and doing that. So I guess let's just have some fun. So let's wrap this up for this at least. I'm not ending the stream just now, but the second chance is here. So let's do a second chances review real fast. So starting off this game here, the second chances, of course, for anyone who's watching and maybe lurking, doesn't know what's going on. It's a set of games that I picked that I wanted to play again and give them a second chance. Either I didn't like them the first time, or like I thought they were all right and just moved on to other games and never came back to it. So I wanted to give them a second chance, see if my opinion still holds up or if it would change. First game on the list that I did was Horizon Zero Dawn. I hated the game at first. Playing it again for the stream, I actually ended up thinking it was all right. I actually liked it, thought it was pretty good. It's not like not good like, yeah, it's a great game. It's like it's playable, it's fine. I can get why people like it. It changed my opinion of it. Going into this game, it's opposite. I remember liking this game. I remember thinking it was pretty good and enjoyed it. But time has not been friendly to this game at all. It's not just the single stick analog game where you have to do everything on the one analog stick, aiming, moving, and everything else, and shooting kind of complicated. That's not the problem. That's something you can adjust to. But it's just like overall game mechanics. Things that from. Because this game is 18 years old. Okay, this came out 2002. This game can vote. So 18 years ago, this was like probably revolutionary. Halo had just been on the market for about a year at that point or so, year or two. Things were, it was the way things were going to be, and I was like, okay, cool. So at the time, this was really acceptable, but certain game traits like not having coherent level design, basically gating you off through physical means and have the backtrack for ridiculously long ways here kind of ruins up the game. It's very slow paced. The first 4 hours, you're constantly scanning. You're forced to. It's not like you can like you go like, well, I'm gonna ignore the side door. You have to stop and look through like rooms in order to solve puzzles to progress the game, or you can't do anything. So I went from liking this game to actually not liking it anymore. I'm like, I'm just done with it. I don't hate it. I don't think it's the worst game ever, but it's just like, for me, I'm like, I don't really want to play it. It's not fun to me anymore. Times have changed. So this game went from a like to a dislike. So that's, let's see, done, disliked. All right, I'm keeping track of this here. So the next stream, no, Mega Man X7 is not on the list, Wallace, because that game's not good. Trust me. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Trust me, bro. Let's see here. So the next game on the list that I'm going to be doing for second chance games is going to be an Xbox 360 game called El Shaddai: Ascension of the Metatron. It's a very trippy, very visual game. So I remember playing it. I remember not having an opinion if it was good or bad. I was just thinking like, this is a really bizarre looking game. It's like, okay. So let's see if we can find a trailer for it. Kind of give you like a preview of like what's coming down the pipe. It's really very, very artsy. It looks like let's see, here is a trailer 720p, but is it? Is it really? Yeah, it'll do. Okay, so skip guys, Xbox View TV. We'll show the trailer for it in just a second. Tony Hawk games. I've played a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 on stream before. I did that. I think it was a PlayStation version. So we'll figure out something else to play. But El Shaddai is going to be the next game on the list. Let's stop the emulation right now. We're going to play the trailer so you can get an idea of what's coming down the pipe. So next stream is actually going to be like probably either Ninja Gaiden 2 or Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. I don't know which one it is. I'll figure it out. It's either 360 or a PS3 version. Probably gonna be 360 to be honest. And then we'll do El Shaddai. That's next up on the games here. But let's try out this trailer. Give me a second to test the audio. Immortal. Okay, looks like the audio is gonna be fine. Well, let's bring this up. So this is the next game on the second chances. We'll be getting to, let's see, calendar Friday. Next stream. It'd be Sunday, the 7th. We'll be tackling this game. So let's bring this up on desktop. There we go. El Shaddai.
Tempted by mankind, the corrupted angels fled from the heavens to create their own utopia on Earth. But as the wrath of God threatens to destroy humanity, Immortal returns to Earth to reclaim the souls of the fallen. Now, an epic journey will begin that will take one man into the depths of hell and beyond.
So that's gonna be the next game on the second chance series that we have. So let me just bring up technical difficulties for now, I guess. So that's gonna be the next one. Let's find something else to stream right now for the time being for probably about maybe an hour or so. Let's pull up back up Dolphin. We'll see what we got on here. Unless somebody has a suggestion. Hexen for the N64. Oh, well, I could do that. If you really want me to stream Hexen, I can do that for you, buddy. That can be arranged. Man, it's been a long time since I played Hexen. You watch someone stream that and the sounds in it were nauseating? Well, are you sure you want me to play it then? I'll let you pick the game, Twellis, but there are exceptions. There's not going to be Batman Forever. There will not be Fantasia. Play something else. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Let's see what I got for Dolphin. See what's going on. Resident Evils have a lot of stuff. Oh, I mentioned this earlier. We'll do this. We'll do Super Monkey Ball. Update the title stuff here and monkeying around. I have no idea how you spell monkeying. I'm pretty sure it's not actually a real technical word. No, they're like, yeah. Google's like, yeah, whatever, man. Monkeying around at the speed of sound. Super Monkey Baru. Have you ever played Beautiful Joe? I have. I actually played it on stream probably about 6 months ago. Bring up Dolphin. Where'd you go? There you are. Beautiful Joe was pretty good. I actually enjoyed that. I had fun playing that on stream. Sponsored by Dole Banana. Okay, I think I'm cutting off, yeah, a little bit of it there. So let's see. Oh, I did not like that. There we go. Yeah, Killer 7 is really trippy. I used to have that game. I don't think I have it anymore. I think I had to sell it off as part of the games I had when I came home and had to sell and ditch. I don't think I ever got it back. Let's see. Let's take a look. Hold up my game list. Nintendo GameCube. So I had it on the GameCube because that's what it was originally for. Yeah, it looks like I do not have it there. Maybe I thought I maybe bought the PlayStation 2 version. It's also been ported to PC recently too. No, I don't have it at all anymore. That's surprising. Okay. Well, there's also a thing here too with the Dolphin emulator. It takes more processing power if you go into emulation, and I think it's, it's options and graphics settings is where you go. You have the ability to put in Uber shaders. So what it does is basically Dolphin before go, oh, I don't have the shader in memory, tries to pull it up and it causes it to stutter and sounds can mess up and everything else. And it wasn't really saving the compiling. The Uber shaders will basically give that try to get rid of the stutter if possible, but it'll retain it in memory and also compile it, so when you run it again, it won't stutter or slow down. Which is something that the CMU emulator does, a lot of emulators do, really. Yeah, I can hear the sound kind of messing up already. And I think the game is usually pretty loud, so I might need to lower it down. Let me know if I need to readjust the audio.
Select game. Main game.
My brother actually had this game. I had pretty sure I had the Xbox one. I'm not sure, because they did port this to Xbox. The original Xbox. I can't remember if I have this or not. It's I had games, like I said, unfortunately, when I got rid of games to, like I said, it was literally do I want to eat or not? May have sold it off. I don't think I ever got it back again. Shit, I don't have it anymore. Man, that bums me out, because I had the Xbox ports of them. That makes me sad. So sad.
Normal mode.
Normal mode. Let's try beginner to start it off. I haven't played this in a long time, so.
Ready? Go!
Speedrun tricks only. Not that good. I think the first time I saw this speedrun was shoot, what was the name?
Ready?
It drive me nuts. Cosmo, yeah, it was Cosmo. Now Cosmo goes by Narcissa since transitioning, but Cosmo had speedrun probably 2011. Games done quick. It was so that's when I first saw this game get speedrun. I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. and Cosmo also did Zelda Link to the Past as well. Not Link to the Past, that was Ocarina of Time. Yeah, no, that kind of transition, that was a long time ago. Like I said, it's faux pas because no matter what you do, you're always wrong. But transition to Narcissa, and people are like, you can't use the old name, like, because that's a dead name. It's like, well, that's the name they were going underneath, and it's been in the archives for, you know, for awesome games done quick. When you pull it up on YouTube, that's where it's going to come up, and that's the name that going by at the time. So it's not like using the slander, like someone says, call me by this, and you're like, no, and call them something different. Yes, as in transitioning genders, yes. Now you got it. Oh, I usually remember, like, making that jump. Yeah, that was a little sound bubble. That's what I remember doing. Okay, just gotta, like, hold it up from the start, and you'll make it. I'm doing so great. People are like, oh, it's not that hard to control this game. It's like the ball. It's like you don't control the ball. You're actually moving the level. The ball stays still. You're moving the entire level. It's how you do it. Dude, you're gonna lose me my sponsorship my imaginary sponsorship. Knock it off. Okay. Remember, it's like there was like a couple tricks. I remember doing like shorter shortcuts. Crap. It's so hard when you can't adjust the camera and free do it. Alright. Camera's horrid, but it's like that for a reason. Make the game harder. There we go. Yeah, that's what always impresses me when I see people who can play this game ridiculously well. Actually, YouTuber Joe from GameSack, he can like play this game really, really well. He can pull off some like pretty crazy tricks and stuff like that, but like seeing speedruns of this game is like really impressive to watch. Because they gotta line up things that you can't see too well, you know, and of course you don't have fast acceleration either. Oops. That's what I was thinking there. I was like, oh, I can just go straight across. No. It don't work like that. It don't be like that. Sometimes it be like that, and not today. Get on there. Oh, that momentum. You don't have that momentum, you just stop dead. And that is not the game's fault. This is one of those things that's like, it's almost always pure skill. It's either your timing or your skill is off, really. It's like, this game controls pretty well for what it is, like for the amount of control you have. Usually it's your fault if something goes horribly wrong in this game. Yeah, this is a game you need to have analog control. This would be impossible to play on a keyboard or Yeah, definitely a keyboard or like non-analog controls. It's like that would work. Directional arrows, not a chance in hell. Can't use the D-pad. Ah, crap. Kind of our reroll for Switch. Controls around the PlayStation 2 version. That's cool. I wonder if they actually improved it. Like, if they actually went back and said, like, hey, we should probably change up how the game controls, make it a little more responsive. So they do that sometimes with, like, re-releases, which is really awesome. The people have tasks this game. That was actually the problem with this game, was actually tasking GameCube games in general. Any type of disc-based game, like you could play it back on emulator, no problem. Then you couldn't play it on the actual system because of variable writing, like variable read speeds from the disc and how it's set up for the GameCube. And they finally managed to crack that, I think about 2 years ago, and this was actually when they showed out at GDQ, said, hey, we solved this emulation problem for doing emulation like task inputs live through a real GameCube. And they showed off their tasks of Monkey Ball, so it's been done. I don't know when the last time was. Let's look that up. Let's see, taskvideos.org. That's right, their search sucks. Let's go to movies.
Ready?
There we go. It's like, where's my pause? I had to bring up the actual emulator itself. So GameCube, all Super Monkey Ball. Expert. 12 minutes 55 seconds. That's through expert through master. And they have number 2, venture. So yeah, so this is. They're going back and redoing a lot of their old videos, because I think this is actually 60 frames per second. Nice. So if you want to see the task for Super Monkey Ball, there it be. See, this looks like, oh, this will be easy to go through. You have a wider hitbox than normal for this part. You're also extremely bouncy, like, it's just bouncing me, like, into everything. And no, you cannot skip it. Yeah, the first game I ever saw a task of, didn't know it was a task because it was like, it was still kind of like a newer thing kind of making out there. It was a Japanese player. This guy actually said like, oh dude, no, I played this, and it was like turned to be a complete and total lie as a task. It was Mario Brothers 3, Japanese version. It was Japanese Tasser. That kind of blew up. It was like, holy crap. And then it came out like, oh, this is a tool-assisted speedrun. I was like, okay, this is kind of an interesting concept. That was like the first one I'd ever seen, and then I found out about GDQ on its second year, so I think it must have been like 2011, I think was the second year they did it. So first year, like, they were down like in Mike Yama's like mom's basement doing it down there, and then like after that there was some small little community center for a couple of years actually, until they got too big, and then they moved them like the big hotels and keep getting bigger each time. But yeah, that was like, must have been around 2011 or something like that. So it's kind of been cool to see, like, back then too, you also, like, if you donated, your donations got read. It may take like an hour or so, but like everyone's donations like was read back then because they were able to do it. Now it's like, it's just impossible how much they have coming through. Now they just save it for like, officially GDQ, like I said, knowing people on the inside, officially GDQ's stance is that we read every donation that we can type deal. We don't like really prioritize things. That's bullshit. They do. If you have a very high donation of at least like usually over $100 or so, that usually almost guarantees it. If it's like a really major thing's coming through, then they read the higher donation parts. But like if you have like a $5-10 donation, even if you know the runner themselves, which actually happened with YKB, she was expecting, like, she actually gave the when she was doing a run there, she's like, hey, here's a list of people I know and from my chat and stuff. Like, if you see their name pop up in the donations, you know, from comments up, please read it. And my name was on that list, and it came through, and the guy just didn't want to read it because he was busy doing Doom jokes. He was like too busy yelling Doom constantly. And so then like he was only focusing on like $100 and up donations. So mine never got read. So she's like, I thought you were gonna donate. I'm like, I did, but your commenter didn't read anything. So she like went back and watched it. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, it's not your fault. So now so like usually the runners do have a list. Like I said, it's up to, you know, the screeners to catch it, and then the person doing the hosting to actually do it, like to actually read it. Then you have total shit shows like the Bayonetta 2 speedrun that happened. Like I don't really want to talk about it. But it's just like, then you have things like that where you're cutting off the host from reading stuff, you're stopping your couch from commenting, you know, and that's on the runner themselves, but it's all up in the air. So now it's like, because if they've become more corporate, they're still giving all their money outside of the salary, which is very small for the people who put on the events and things like that. Almost like everything that they raise outside of that goes to charity. It's not like March of Dimes, where literally a dime goes to your organization and 90% gets pocketed by them. Like, everything that GDQ does, outside of like an annual salary of everybody totally combined, like 120,000, like goes directly to it, which is like millions of dollars, which is fine. It's all up front in all their statements if you look through it. But as they've gotten bigger and more corporate, it's becoming harder and harder to actually get your donations read, which is a shame. It started off as a small little kind of like neat little fun community thing to do, and then it's just grown bigger and bigger each time, and it's kind of lost its soul, in my opinion. It's great. I'm still for it. You know, I still think it's a great thing to have happen, but it's like it's just kind of gotten too big, really. I'm trying to think. There used to be people before, like the first one I remember, the gaming marathons that brought in money for charity was the Escapist people were behind Escapist.net, or like people like that site did Desert Bus for Hope. Pardon me. Which is like an unreleased Penn and Teller game for the Sega CD, where you drive from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas in real time at 55 miles an hour. It takes 8 hours to beat. And every like donation that they had received would add in, like, they had certain tiers, would add in like an extra hour of them playing it. So like they'd be playing this game like straight for like a week. You know, it's like, and like they'd like bring in like $50,000 for like kids charities and hospitals, things like that. That was like the big one. Then some other smaller people had the Mario Marathon, where they were going through and playing all the Mario games like straight. They'd play like every single Mario game released at that time for the consoles, and we're doing that straight for charity. They were the big things. Then GDQ kind of came along and it took over, really. Yeah, GDQ is just unfortunate. in my opinion, just kind of lost its soul. Like it's become too corporate. It's still a good thing, but it's just there's a lot of politics going on behind the scenes. You know, it's not like it's just like it's all over the place. It's not really consistent, unfortunately. There's no big conspiracy. Trust me. There's no like people like assholes like Apollo. What's his name? Apollo Legend. It's like because he was like basically trying to like do his own like speedrunning event. He wanted to have like out clips like GDQ, so he created all this like fake conspiracy theories that people still believe. It's like none of what he says is true. Trust me. Like I know people who do those things who work with the GDQ organization. None of that's true. Yeah, they're choosing the runs and stuff. They get a lot of runs, so it's pretty hard to do. But a lot of it is kind of like, who do you know? You know, who can you be friends with type deal there and get the game in, and like, is it popular? Is it going to bring in money too? I mean, that's something I've had to point out to other people who've complained that there is like my game never gets picked for, like, I've been submitting for 10 years to submit my game to GDQ and it never gets picked. And I'm like, well, your game sucks. It's boring. Like, is your game fun to watch? You know, and that's the thing. Like, it's like, for example, there was the Pikmin communities. We wanted, like, we had a runner do it one time for GDQ, and her run was so terrible that we got blacklisted. I'm like, there's no blacklist for games, or like, there's some for runners for different things they may have done. And people in the spots who are not runners just there to cause chaos. There's a blacklist for them, but there's no blacklist for any type of games unless it's the hentai pornography or super violent. Like, you just like, here's a game where you torture kittens. You know, that's not gonna fly. But like, there's no bans on games there. Like, if your game's repeatedly being submitted and it's not getting in, it's probably boring as hell to watch. You may find it interesting. But can you take someone like my mom, brain tumor, sit her down in front of the television and have her watch it and think that's cool to watch? Or is she going to be bored to tears? You know, if you have a historical strategy game like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, where you're playing like trying to take over China and you unite together underneath the first emperor, and you're doing stats and all these things, that's going to be boring as hell to watch. You may find it interesting, you may have the world record time, but no one's going to watch. Everyone's going to tune out. Bayonetta, we lost 50,000 viewers on it because of how the host was, you know? It was like there was a little technical glitch at first, we got all the viewers back, and then the run proceeded, and it turned so many people off, 50,000 people turned away. That's 50,000 potential donators that GDQ lost. So that's pretty bad. So that actually ruins the chances for Bayonetta 2 ever showing up again because of those actions. You can have a runner damage the game, potentially, but a lot of times just trying to get your game in is because your game is just not entertaining. That's it. That's a big humongous thing. So still mad they screwed over YKB when she put in her run. I can't remember what she put in. I remember what she last did. I think it may have been... She's run Quackshot and... Mickey Mania. I think she tried to do Mickey Mania again, and with like different zip categories like that, because like they found all the crazy zips. Like Wolves Black came along and just busted open the game even more. Because YKB found the first couple of skips, and then Wolves Black came along and found even more. So she submitted that in, but it didn't get through because it's been there before and it's kind of a nice game. But depending on what they want to do, it's basically like they're looking for usually like longer games sometimes or shorter games. If your game is ridiculously long, they used to kind of like not really accept it, but then they started changing the rules on that and just started going like haywire. Like, oh, you have a 10-hour game? Sure, put this in. It's like, why? You know, it's like, you better make sure it's a really good game to last that long. You know, so it's like, for almost kind of like Final Fantasy games, like Final Fantasy 7. 6 was kind of pushing it. I think 6 was like a 6-hour run. Oh, that's when you got a timer just right to default directly through it.
Ready?
I remember there was some more controversy too. They're like, this game's like, they rejected one. Yeah, that's right. There was a rejection list because they said the game was too long to run. But then they took in like some game that was like 10 hours to do. It's like, what? You know, like, you gotta be a little more consistent with your policies for what you're doing. Certain games they'll also constantly always do, like the big one being Super Metroid. That's going to be every single time because that's their moneymaker. Like, that's always guaranteed to bring in the eyeballs and bring in the money for the save the animals or kill the animals. That's always going to be a part of it. But yeah, they actually gave it a break 1 year after pretty disastrous commentary they had going through. The infamous, like, like, stop clapping, no fun, everyone shut up type deal, like, like there was a race going on and the commentator was just, like, flipping out on the crowd. Like, they were like, silence, don't clap, be quiet, and it's just like, dude, shut up. It's like, they're here to have fun. And all the runners died during the race too. It was just like, it was hard to watch. It was also like one of the most boring ones too, like, because they didn't have the right people commentating as well. Like, they were just like, I think they were part of the people who normally do like the races for speedruns live, because they do have like it's like one of the channels I do have where they actually do races on Twitch, like, and they'll have like tournaments and stuff. I think they had a couple people from there doing it, but just because you commented there doesn't mean you're actually like really good at commentary. It's hard to do. Commentary is very, very hard to do for a game and make it sound entertaining and engaging. And some people just don't have that skill. Because, I mean, if you watch those races sometimes, like I watched a race on Nier Automata to get to the A ending, which is like a 2-hour run usually, or I think it's like about an hour and a half now. And one of the ones I had watched, the first time I'd seen it was really interesting. Like, the guy's like, okay, the person's doing a lot of spaghetti movement, and I commented like, what's spaghetti movement? And like, oh, we got a question from the chat, and spaghetti movement is this. It broke it down in an entertaining way while still explaining and commenting what was happening on the screen. Then you have some people like,
alright, so Paul's went over here and he's gonna do the spaghetti movement. He did the spaghetti, it's really going through. It's just an interesting race, so he's going through and commenting.
It's like, okay, you gotta have, style, you gotta bring some energy to it, you have to be good at it. It's very hard to do. Yeah, exactly, you gotta have hosts who gotta make up for lack of personality from the runner. Sometimes they're just like, the people are either A, they don't have a personality, or B, they're scared. Some people can't, and I don't understand this, because public speaking and everything does not bug me at all. I'm very comfortable getting in front of people that I do not know, and like playing an instrument or just talking to them and so forth, and it's like, it's not an issue to me. But I understand people who like get up there and you suddenly realize that not only are you in a room with like 1,000 people or more, depending on if your game's popular, it could be 5 people, it could be over 1,000, 2,000 people in that room. You also have up to 100,000 people watching you around the world, and some people like clam up, don't know what to do, and they get really scared. That's where it helps if you have a good host who can kind of take over and liven things up. For you, if you have the right people on your couch, can help ask questions too, or help liven up things. Like Patty, that guy is freaking hilarious. Like, that guy, like, who did the commentary for like the Legend of Zelda randomizer. He was doing the commentary for that. That guy was just like, he was like picking on the audience, he's picking on the runner, he's keeping things lively and entertaining, where it's like, where the guy's trying to find out where an item is he can't find, it's like dead time, he's just like picking up the slack. He's jabbing at the host, and he's making everything fun to watch. So that's pretty good. But I mean, and that's hard to find though. You gotta have people who have personality. Like, can you commentary your game? Can you have that personality through? Can you carry the game if it's boring, or the down section? It's just, there's so many things that need to go into that people don't really think about. It's one of those things. Yeah, well, the chat, like the 1 year that they had just like only emotes only, I thought that was really brilliant. Because that was a year where they had, like, not getting too much into the controversy, but there was a person who was a magical girl persuasion, possibly a prototype, we'll say, who basically decided GDQ is my sandbox, or my soapbox, to yell and push whatever crazy nonsense I can think of. And it wasn't just like, rights for human beings or anything else. It was like, I have this particular review on this subject here, and this is my thing. I'm going to run the show. I'm going to take over. I'm going to bring it up at things that don't need to be done whatsoever. And they've since been moved off of those positions where they're able to do things like that. Holy crap, this game is not liking this stage. Emulation's like, no. But, I can see why it's got the ripple animation. But I mean, you have things like that can cause problems, sure. But I mean, but that got resolved as that was a pretty bad year when that happened. They got mocked openly for it, and rightfully so, it's deserved. But yeah, there's like they're constantly changing and trying to move things up and how things do. Like, you know, change how they're presented through how they run the games, how it's all presented up, and who can say and different things, so forth. And chats were really hard to do, but because of that one crazy year where that person, you know, got involved and literally tried to hijack the entire thing and make the entire week-long thing about them, because of that person, they actually had to put on emotes only for chat, and I thought that was a brilliant thing. It shut down all those things from going on, like people typing in, you know, like killing comments, like murder comments, things like that. They're just bashing people left and right, because you can't mod it. I've talked to a guy who actually mods for GDQ events, and it's like, you can't do it. It's like, if you ever saw the movie Dread, not the 95 Stallone one, but like I think it was 2012, who was it? Kyle Urban? Something like that there, I can't remember the guy's name. It's a good movie anyway. But basically, he plays the judge in the game, like in the movie, where basically he is the law, judge, jury, executioner, and law is so out of control. Like they can only respond to like 6% of the calls coming into 911 because the crime is so rampant. You know, and that's the same thing when you're a mod for like 100,000 people plus in a chat. You can't control everything. There's not enough people to do that. So it's like you can just only do what you can see and handle that's constantly going through. So it's like chat is just one of the crazy things. Personally, I would just get rid of chat for GDQ. I would get rid of it completely, just have it for donations only. You know, but it's just like, I wouldn't even deal with it, because it's just such a hassle. It's something you can't police when you get to that size. It's impossible. It's a fool's errand. It's like trying to empty out a lake with a thimble. It's not gonna work.
Ready? Go! Hurry up! 9, 8, go!
So yeah, there's a lot of things with GDQ, and like I said, it's all the growing pains and stuff like that, so it's hard to really kind of keep up with. You can try your best, but like certain things are just not going to work out right, really. Oh, just got it. Yeah, so personally for GDQ myself, I just get rid of chat. I wouldn't even deal with it. And this level, I remember this one being a pain in the butt. There we go.
Ready?
Yeah, so the big thing, like I said, the takeaway is like, if your game's not getting in, if you're submitting your game, is it interesting? Is it fun to watch? That's always the big thing, and usually it's just not. So you can have runners ruin things, but that's pretty rare for a game, but it's usually just your game's not entertaining, sorry. You know? You just remember, like, jumping over this here.
Ready? Go!
There we go. Oh, shoot. It's like, hey, I did it. Alright, no, not quite.
Ready? Go!
I'm not trying to do that. I'm like actually trying to honestly stay on. It's not working. Try one more continue here, so we'll go through to get the game over.
Ready? Go!
No! Hey, Ronnie. Super Simians here. Yeah, I got done with Metroid Prime. Whoa, that was some weird frames dropped. It was a not a Switch thing. It was an emulation, like no longer 60 type deal. So I got done with Metroid Prime. Just kind of hit brick wall with it. Wrap that up there. If you weren't looking, or therefore it is like game. Started off originally liking it, but it's not withstood the test of time. It's not fun anymore. It's not a good game in my opinion. It's not bad, but it's just like it's not. It's like game views have changed on like what's acceptable game design, what you'll put up with, and like that game just like it exudes like it's an 18-year-old game. I mean, it's like it was good for its time back in 2002, but not really anymore. So I was like, okay, let's find something else to do, and put on some Super Monkey Ball and talked about GDQ and other questions and things I've noticed about and my opinions on it. Like if you've submitted your game for 10 years and they haven't picked it up for 10 years, your game sucks. Deal with it, it's boring. Find something that's entertaining. You know, it's like, that's basically the gist of it, really. It's like, is your game fun to watch? No, that's a problem. Are you entertaining? No, then that's a problem again. It's like... You know, are you able to commentate? Are you interesting to listen to? You know, things of that nature too. Because like usually they don't care if you can't really talk. You know, if you can't really commentate, or if you have somebody else do it, you need to let them know like, hey, let's do this instead. But yeah, it's a problem for a lot of people. As I briefly discussed, I'm not gonna go into it again, the disastrous Bayonetta 2 run that we had where it was like 50,000 people left. Oh no! Wait a second, hold on. Nope. Yeah, this is all configured correctly. Wiimote, hold on. I'm working on it. Hold on, I know the music's kind of annoying. There we go. Oh no, it's not right. Oh, Wii U. Okay, so Wii games are a problem to get working sometimes. So that's not gonna work. Yeah, it doesn't like that controller at all. It's like, nope. Speedrun American Truck Simulator community. The community would like travel down to try to kill you instantly. You would not make it out of that building alive, Twalis. they would go for your head instantly. Let's see. Filing shaders. Yeah, this game is like stupidly hard. I don't know what they were doing, like what they were thinking of when they did this, but it's like this game is ridiculously hard to play. I played it in the arcade once. Like AX was not bad. It's kind of funny because the AX arcade version is actually in this. You have to use a code to get it unlocked. It's crazy. It's like you have to use a like a Game Genie type deal, or Game Shark it was called, to get the arcade. But yeah, the story mode in this and everything is just ridiculously hard. It's crazy. No, which game are you talking about though, Wallace? You mean like American, like the truck simulator? I don't think that'd go over very well. Remember we're talking about games have to be interesting? that probably would not be interesting. It's fun for like playing it wrong, but pretty sure everybody else would go crazy about it. Let's see, by steer left and right. Accelerates A, B is brake, slide attack, spin, boost. All right, cool. Yeah, it's basically like if you had like a glitch exhibition. Oh yeah, you'd rule that without a doubt. This is another problematic game for Dolphin, but it's trying to basically build up the shader cache as well, so hopefully it might smooth out a little bit, but it's pretty different. It's pretty hard to get going right. There we go. Now it's building up the cache. It's like, oh, too much. Yeah, so this game, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, has like mostly just really a problem with trying to get the shader cache built up, but F-Zero is one of the ones where they, like, in Prime is usually the three ones that Dolphin has issues with still to this day trying to get work right. And why have they not done a new F-Zero game? You can thank Miyamoto for that. He can't think of a gimmick to put into the game. That's seriously a thing. He's like, I can't think of a gimmick to force in, like making Star Fox use the Wii U tablet controller there. He forced that on them, and nobody liked it. But he has to have a gimmick. He thinks games have to have gimmicks, unfortunately. So he can't think of a gimmick for F-Zero, which is why we don't have any new ones for it. I've never played an Animal Crossing game, ever. I played Harvest Moon, the original one for Nintendo on emulation, because it was extremely hard to find here in the States, and I'm pretty sure it's ridiculously priced to this day. Let's pop onto eBay and look at this. See, Harvest Moon, it's NES. I'm gonna guess $600? Maybe, no, let's take a guess, $300. Let's see, complete in box, $700, $600. Loose by itself is around $350. If you can get the Japanese version, you're looking at around $40 to $50. Harvest Moon is basically what they built Animal Crossing off of. Said, hey, how do we do, like, let's have a simulation where you can... Or actually, no, what was it? Gosh. I'm trying to think of that game. It wasn't... It's not... Animal Crossing is kind of based on that here. What was it? Just came out not too long ago. I'm drawing a blank on it. Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is like very influenced, almost one for one for like the game I mentioned. It's just like it's insane, like how much they copied of that game. Like Harvest Moon, they put in there for Stardew Valley. It's like, wow, I've played this before like 20 years ago. Yeah, story mode in this game is, I don't know why they made this game so damn hard. It is like unfair hard. If anybody can speedrun this game, take note, because I mean it is an interesting time to watch them do it, because this game is just insane. I don't even know why they did it this way. Like, and I play hard games. This is like, I don't want to play this anymore hard. Story mode is like the second race becomes like damn near impossible. F-Zero X, in my opinion, is still like my favorite of the F-Zero games. Nintendo 64, that's still one of my favorites. So the second race, I'm still in only position 21. It's like you gotta race this perfectly or you don't win. It's like, why is the game so brutally hard? I demand answers. Wow, I just got first. That's impressive. It's impressive to me. Maybe there's anybody else watching, but for me, like getting first in anything in this game, any race in this game is damn really hard. It was crazy because the arcade version even wasn't this hard. It's like, why is this set up this way? I have questions. So I'm actually going to be wrapping up the stream pretty soon. Just let everybody know ahead of time here. So the next stream, let's see, today is Wednesday? Yeah, the next stream will be Friday the 5th. We'll be playing Ninja Gaiden 2. I'm not sure if it's going to be the Xbox 360 version. If that's the case, if you are not a fan of extreme violence, such as limb removal, blood flying through the air, and ninjas being cool, you might want to skip that stream. I'll just let you know ahead of time, because some people do have problems with that, and I understand. It's fun. It's not a problem. You don't have to watch my stream all the time. Just most of the time, you need to donate money to me because I'm amazing. But yeah, and I know we're having sound problems right now, but Ninja Gaiden 2, so we might play the Sigma 2, which is the PlayStation 3 version, which is less violent. Instead of having limbs removal, they still disappear, but they disappear in purple smoke. So I might play that version instead, which will take a little bit harder to get going, but I might do it. We'll figure it out. And then it'd be Sunday, would be the resuming of Second Chance Games, which would be El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, which is a game that I remember thinking was really kind of weird artsy game, and then like I played it for like maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then never went back to it because other games were around. So it was like, I don't know, okay. So that's next up on the list of second chances there, just mostly because it's been like, I think 10 years since I last played it, and I really don't remember much of anything about it other than being like really artsy and being a beat 'em up. You got the power, you have the ability to kill yourself faster. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Oh no! Hey, I landed right in health. Give me more. Have me find like, oh no, we're exploding, and then like you landed here, and also the parts just go flying back onto your car. All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I do appreciate it. Of course, shout outs to Nimix, Twalis, and Ronnie, and anybody else who's lurking or dropped by. Barnes the Third. I haven't seen him in a long time. He's actually over at YKB's. He's hanging out in his streams and on her streams. Also, sometimes around the very silent Discord these days, because unfortunately she's pretty much retired from streaming. But that's fine. I still support her either way. She's still a friend of mine. I consider her to be a good friend. Regardless, however, thank you guys all for dropping by. So to recap real fast here before I get my usual closing out, second chance games with Metroid Prime. Original going in perception was I liked the game. I remember playing it 10 years ago. I thought it was pretty good. Unfortunately, my perception of that has changed to it doesn't hold up very good. It's not a fun game really to play anymore. It's just times have changed over the 18 years since the game came out, so it's like it's just not that fun to play. Maybe I think there was a enhanced port of it, I think for the Wii that used the nunchuck that I think people really liked and played those versions instead. That would be more fun, but for Wii for me is like off limits for my fibromyalgia. It just murders me, so I don't really play Wii games at all unless it's like controller based. So Horizon Zero Dawn is the first game. Went from hating it to liking it. Metroid Prime went from liking it to kind of disliking it. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's that great. Next up on the series will be El Shaddai, but that's going to be on Sunday the 7th. So, I do stream every other day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't know when that is, just type that into Google and it will let you know for wherever you are in the world. Also, check me out on Twitter at Wurzel555. Usually about 2 or 3 hours in advance, I'll be posting up what I'll be playing, or if I need to cancel my stream for whatever reasons. I actually thought about almost canceling today because of my health. Like, my back is really hurting. I had to pick my mom off the floor yesterday. She unfortunately fell and got hurt, and I was the only one in the house, so I had to pick her up, which is not good for your fusion. So, but I persevered anyway, so of course that's why I streamed. But if I need to cancel for health reason for either her, myself, or something comes up, you'll know there. You can also find out what I'll be playing. Next game is going to be, like I said, a little advisory for violence. If you're against that, that's perfectly fine. If you're a regular or a lurker who's here anyway, if you don't like very violent games, you might not want to watch it. If I play the 360 version, it's very violent. If I play the PlayStation 3 version, it's not as bad. There is violence still, but it's not like piles of bodies and limbs everywhere. It just disappears like in the purple smoke. It's kind of a weird thing, but you'll see. So keep that in mind. High violence warning for the next stream. But then after that will be El Shaddai on Sunday. So Ninja Gaiden 2 and then El Shaddai. Hopefully I'll see you guys then. Thank you for hanging out. Let's see if anyone's streaming right now. Not really. Speed Gaming. They're doing Mega Man for a tournament. We're going to host them. I don't think anyone's watching anymore, but that's fine. We'll still host it here anyway. Just a channel. There we go. All right. So thanks for tuning in. Check you guys out next time.